the thunder throws, so shook and groan. Disobedience turned their hearts to stone. Rejected the truth, lost in the zone. Now they're paying rent in Hades' bone home. Both crackheads, no shelter in the night. Underworld gates, that eternal fright. Denials echo through torturous flight. Only face facts could have saved their plight. Blinding crack, no way back. Lost souls on brimstone track. Ignorance, gotta pay the toll. Zeus truth or face the dole. Charon's boats too full to float. Whales of the foolish on the underworld note. Denied Olympian decree, now they tote. Eternal chains, no antidote. Gods convene, truth unseen. Demigods whisper, lost souls scream. Follow the path or drown in the stream. Zeus' wrath, a cruel dream. Dreams of torment echo loud. Lost in sulfur, desperate, proud. Zeus watches from Olympus cloud. Rejected truth, their fates avowed.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show going. You know what we're here to do.
Convene, no way back. Lost on brimstone track.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. Welcome to the show. Yes, please share the live, send it to all of your family and friends so that they can get on board with what we need to do to save this great country of ours, all right? Let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you know exactly why we are here. All right, and we don't got much time to do it. Thank you. Yes, liked and shared. Good morning, Eric. All right, good morning, each and every single one of you for tuning in. We got to be careful. You know, they're watching Big Zeus. You know.
It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming.
I'll be back.
It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game,
Ahead of the class.
You can tell that I made it.
Happy Friday.
Cars in the garage, the
Tanks full of gas.
I play the game so raw, I won't finish.
Good morning.
Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it.
Thank you. Share the live. Yes, time to burn, time to learn, time to earn. Happy Friday.
My Zodiac.
I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie.
They use my ex, that mean they left me.
They don't get replies if they text me.
I say it with my chest cause I mean it. Got a lot of confidence.
Thank you, Rhea. W's in the chat, Maria. Here it goes, Rhea. Remember this? This is Zeus Hater.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
You know these Zeus haters?
Was radical.
Oh, I'm radical.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off
It's
Oh.
like deja vu. It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
Okay.
It's like deja vu.
All right. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? It's like deja vu. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. We survived another week of the Trump administration. All right. And we got some things to cover. All right. We got a short amount of time once again because, you know, they say the show should go on, 3-4 hours. I can't do 3 or 4 hours. So we'll try to get as much in as we can. But before we get started, let's take care of some housekeeping items. For those of you who don't know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. The second H is, well, because I'm humble. There's nobody more humble than me. If I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize, all right? And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am and will always remain, honestly, the most handsome. Many of you, once again, know why we are gathered here this morning. We are here because, oh, look at that. I am now in League C4. Wow, I don't even know what that means on TikTok. Someone wrote H means hung. Keep it clean, ladies. Many of you know why we are here. We got to hold these people on the right accountable for their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds as well as their crimes. And believe you me, it's like we've hit the jackpot when it comes to who's committing crime in this country. Believe it or not, it's not the immigrants. No, it's not. It's not the Democrats. No. The biggest, the most dangerous group of people in this country, ladies and gentlemen, is honestly Trump supporters, the uninformed people who continue to get out here and do what? Worship Donald J. Trump all the way to the graveyard. And that's why we do what we do over here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wake-up call. We send these Trump supporters where they belong, straight to hell. And so I got to say this, are there any Trump supporters out there this morning? I got to be more reserved, all right? Because, they keep taking me down on my other account. I got to try to be more diplomatic and more reserved. But I want you all to understand one thing. You know how I feel about MAGA, and it'll never change. As far as I'm concerned, you all are lucky TikTok has to make us keep the training wheels on us. So if there are any Trump supporters out there, I just want to give you, honestly, an opportunity of a lifetime this lovely Friday morning. If you do not want me to ruin your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between, do us all a huge favor and leave this live. And just honestly, go hang out with those fake TikTok hosts, because they will lie to you, all right? Over here, it's not like that. I will honestly allow you to get up here and embarrass yourself, all right, in order to see if you can actually pick up on the pieces and the clues we're leaving behind and hopefully get out of that cult. And 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10, what ends up happening is I'll ruin your breakfast. Yeah, I'll ruin your lunch and I'll ruin your dinner and everything in between. W Zeus in the chat. And if you don't want to experience that, like I said, just leave. Because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Let the games begin. Ladies and gentlemen, first things first. I gotta talk about it, yo. I don't understand, honestly, why Trump supporters, aren't these some of the most angriest, miserable people you've ever ran across on the face of the earth? You all have your dear leader in the White House. You got Elon Musk. You got the House, you got the Senate, you got the Supreme Court. And yet and still, you all seem to manage somehow to wake up every single day in the United States of America crying and complaining. And they still believe all their problems. I was in a live yesterday. I didn't want to go off teleprompter, but I gotta say it. They still believe all the problems that they are going through right now are because of the Democrats. Are there any Trump supporters out there right now that still believe this lie? Because I want to debunk it this morning. Any Trump supporters out there still believe, while Donald Trump and all of your friends are in power right now, that all the problems they have right now are because of the Democrats? I'm just trying to see how if you're still out here under this demonic spell, because what I got some very, very, very bad news for you. Good morning. W's in the chat for Ange. Good morning, Ange. You were there. They don't want me. They don't want me to talk about January 6th. They say, Zeus, please just stop bringing up January 6th. Wrong. I'm going to talk about January 6th right now. You want to talk about what Donald Trump did that day that got you sent to you know where? I can bring that up whenever I want to. This is a free country. They don't want me to talk about eggs. Well, I just got done cracking some eggs, huh? I just cracked some eggs right now. They don't want me to talk about the economy. Well, people are getting laid off, and I'll talk about that too. I will talk. Zeus, please don't bring up Donald Trump's court cases. Which one? The E. Jean Carroll case, where he essayed the defamation? You don't want me to talk about that? You don't want me to talk about the one where he was convicted 34 times? You don't want to talk about the classified documents? You don't want to talk about the January 6th? You don't want me to talk about Jack Smith? MAGA, let me be very, very clear with all of you. You are all angry. And it's because you know, just like we all know, that you are the biggest fools on the face of the earth. And I say this with the utmost disrespect in a way, but it kind of has a lot of respect. Because what I'm not seeing is, and I'm going to continue to do it, they don't want me to talk about Doge, but I'm going to talk about Doge. I want to know who has the golden envelope right there, all right? Because we were all told that Elon was supposed to find fraud, waste, and abuse, and then somehow reward you, Trump supporters, with the savings. You know, the savings that he said he found by getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. He fired a bunch of federal employees, MAGA, and you all said, oh, he's trimming the fat. He's trimming the fat. So, MAGA, okay, fine. He's trimmed the fat. Where is the money? To the Trump supporters out there, where's the money at? That he supposedly saved by getting rid of the people who protect our nuclear secrets, getting rid of the people who are researching bird flu, getting rid of the FAA employees, getting rid of all of the government employees who actually provide essential services to the American people. Where are the golden envelopes? See, and this is what I've been saying to you, Trump supporters. You're not that bright sometimes. And what ends up happening is this. Now we are we're heading towards a 1929 depression. One like you and I have never ever seen in our lifetime. Have you seen the stock market? Have you seen the trillions and trillions of dollars that have been erased from the face of the earth? Where'd the money go, MAGA? If the money disappeared and y'all had it, I'd say, you know what? W's in the chat for MAGA. I would. If the money that disappeared at the stock market went to you Trump supporters, I would get on my show and I would tell my fellow Democrats, hey, Democrats, we were wrong. Donald Trump did like something out of the story about Robin Hood. He took the money from the wealthiest of the wealthiest and he turned around and he gave it to his loyalist supporters, you know, the ones that are struggling right now somewhere in the middle of America in a dark part of the country. But he didn't do that, MAGA. He didn't give you the money. Where is it at? And I know what the problem is. You want me to continue to believe it's on its way. But MAGA, I can't do that. I can't do that because I'm a thinking man. And guess what? You see that? No strings attached. I'm not a hand puppet. But what I will tell you is on its way is judgment. So to all the Trump supporters out there, and they don't like it when I do this, but somebody has to do this. This is the toughest part of my job. Really, it is. To all the Trump supporters out there that are still holding on to hope and prayer that somehow Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going to deliver you a golden envelope that says Doge with their signatures on it, that includes a check for $5,000+ right? And you're still standing outside waiting for the mailman. You know, they were supposed to go to their doctor's appointment today. No, honey, I can't make it to the doctor's appointment. Why? Because I'm waiting on the mailman or the mailwoman to go ahead and open up my mailbox and slip that golden check in and liberate me from this financial prison that Joe Biden put me in. Well, won't you go ahead and stand by that mailbox, all right? And in the meantime and in between time, we will warm up this lake of fire, all right, and do something that we all enjoy doing, sending your special behind where your special behind belongs, in hell.
Silence, you MAGA daily.
All right, I see some people getting triggered in the audience right now.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
W, Lady Boss
Come
Monet.
back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Yes. All right. I know this woman right here. This woman right here. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I completely am so grateful for, you know who this is? Vice President Kamala Harris. I am so grateful for this woman because what her and Joe Biden did is they opened up a serious can of truth in the United States of America. Because honestly, I thought the reaction that we saw from Barack Hussein Obama being the president, you know how you Trump supporters, that curtain of racism was revealed and y'all came back out in full force. We hate Obama in that tan suit. And that's why y'all voted for Donald Trump. I honestly thought, you know what? As much as Obama may have not done some of the things I preferred he to do, I'm glad the cat's out of the bag. W's in the chat for Barack Obama. But what Joe Biden did by selecting Vice President Kamala Harris, it revealed a lot more realities, a lot more truth to the American people. Y'all still seem to have a problem with misogyny and racism. And what I'm also understanding is we got brothers out here whose self-esteem is also lacking. And so they've hitched on to this movement where instead of learning how to elevate it, right, and be really savvy and saucy out here, these brothers have now put themselves in the same position as the Trump supporters, which is now they're professional victims. And so where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen, is these professional victims, they're getting their behinds tore up because Donald Trump is making it clear every single day he could care less about them. You have nothing in common with Donald Trump, and you Trump supporters know it. But as you can see right now, our economy is a mess. This country, we got a president literally violating human rights. All right. He's denying Americans due process. He's just going after whoever he thinks he has a problem with, even colleges, universities, anything DEI, anything woke. But at the end of the day, and he's not even standing up to Russia at all. Do you see Putin and the ceasefire at work right now? No, there's no ceasefire. Nothing he promised is actually happening. Are your grocery prices lower, MAGA? Are your grocery prices lower? No. You know what's happening? Everything Kamala Harris said would happen is actually starting to happen. And yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, we got to hear from our beautiful vice president who reminded all Americans that guess what? There are consequences for electing a fraudster billionaire and putting his buddies in the White House. So if you don't mind, let's get this on the record.
That is the courage exhibited by the leaders in this room every day. To stand, to have the courage to say, I feel fear. The courage to say what is happening is wrong. The courage to say that there is a way that we must chart to get through this.
Thank you.
Understanding our power in the democracy we still have if we hold on to it. Courage is contagious.
Amen.
What could have been, everyone? What could have been? That, of course, was former Vice President Kamala Harris speaking at a summit of women leaders earlier this evening. It's one of the first times we've seen her speak out since her November election loss. She hasn't been out there a ton. We'll see if she comes out more. She also spoke about the current state of fear in our country.
The fear.
The structure motorized pergola system
Hold on. We're gonna pay the bills and let that fly, but
we are seeing organizations stay quiet. We are seeing those who are capitulating to clearly unconstitutional threats. And these are the things that we are witnessing each day in these last few months in our country. And it understandably creates a great sense of fear. Because, there were many things that we knew would happen. Many things. I'm not here to say I told you so.
Yeah. So she's basically making it crystal clear. How could you? I've never been so disappointed in black men in my life. I'm sorry to say this, and they hate when I go racial, but it's Friday, and Friday is a DEI definite. I've never been so disappointed in a lot of these brothers out here who know most times, 9 times out of 10, in some way, shape, or form, it was a black woman who helped save their special behind. But they got out here, and instead of making a man out of themselves, they made a victim out of themselves. And now they basically help facilitate the situation that we are currently in. You're on your way, honestly, to experiencing the worst pain and hardship, financially speaking, as well as criminally speaking, because believe it or not, I've seen videos. There's a lady on TikTok. You know who she is. I can't say it because they're going to get me. But she was a black woman who was on this app supporting Donald Trump, wearing MAGA gear. Actually, she went as far as to say, MAGA is my tribe. I saw this video after video. Black woman doing this. And the ancestors, the spirit of our ancestors was on her. I could tell because you could see in her eyes and you could hear it in her voice that she knew she was wrong. But she made these videos anyway. She hung out with these demons on the right. She did. She sold her soul. And you know what? The good Lord had an interesting way of humbling this woman. Yeah. Oh, Rosemary, could you, Rosemary, I sent you an invite if you don't mind. Because I was in the middle of a special moment, Rosemary, and I'll take time away to address whatever concerns that you may have, Rosemary, and your last name is Gomez. I'm going to leave you alone, Rosemary, because I don't want to get into that trap you're trying to set for me. W. Zeus in the trap. We're not going to let Rosemary bait Zeus this morning. I saw what you did. Nice try. So this woman I was talking about, it turns out her son, and her son ends up getting sucked up into the criminal justice system, and I believe he's facing 20 plus years in prison, and now she's on TikTok asking Democrats. She's asking Democrats to come to her rescue now because she believes that the Trump administration has unlawfully targeted her black son. All right, and now she needs the community to rally behind her. And everybody is going, but ma'am, do you see all the videos that you posted on your page supporting this? And they're going, especially in the black community, especially those of us who voted for Kamala Harris. Under no circumstances could we do that. Why would we side with the enemy? We gave you the heads up. And you all continue to play in our faces and pretend like, and it's the most bizarre thing, somehow this is all going to work out in your favor. And if it doesn't, this is where and I got to address it, especially to the blacks and the Latinos who voted for Donald Trump. They honestly believe that when it all comes crashing down, that we're going to say, it's okay, come on over and we'll help you out. They still believe this, and that's why they continue to support Donald Trump, because they think we are the safety net. Well, I got some bad news for you, seditionists, treasonous traitors, because you don't just got to be a traitor on January 6th. You could be a traitor amongst your own kind. I got some bad news for you. Don't come over here asking me to march with you, because I ain't marching. Don't come over here and ask me to do a GoFundMe, because I ain't sending a crying dime, not even a penny. Don't ask me for anything. What I want you to do is get down on your knees and repent. And in the meantime, in the between time, do me a huge favor. Take your special behind straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Yeah. I mean, and I had to do that because there will be, I believe people can be rehabilitated at any moment, but there has to be consequences. All right. You're doing wrong. You got caught. You got to suffer the consequences. End of discussion. That's how you learn to be a better person. W. Zeus in the chat. I got some more truth for y'all. Because, see, you thought Kamala Harris was playing when she said it, but we're going to go ahead and get it on the record. All right, you remember when Kamala said this? Let's go, Kamala, get it on the record.
Is that Donald Trump's plan would, what Goldman Sachs has said, is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
Any questions? I know you all, your minds go to sleep, your minds shut off when Kamala speaks. It's sort of like when you're in church and the pastor starts reading out of the Bible and you start getting a little woozy and weak in the knees. That means it's some too much truth. But you understood what Kamala said very clearly. Donald Trump was never, ever going to ever come to your rescue. And you can go read as many of his posts on his platform, Lies Central. But everyone besides you understands those are just lies. That's just like putting, you got poison, right? It's like putting all kinds of sweet sugar and candy in the poison. Guess what? It's still going to do damage, all right? Zeus. And I see them crying in my chat, and I can't engage, but I'll say this. If you're crying in my chat right now, maybe this isn't the live for you.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
There you go. There you go, Trump supporters, because I'm not here to coddle you. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to give you the dopamine injection you need in order to start elevating out here. You got self-esteem issues. And this man is explaining to you that instead of you doing the work to become better people, you could just sit around on your special you-know-what and continue to blame Joe Biden and the Democrats. That's not going to work. Your family needs you to pay your fair share. All right, in the discussion. And I asked the Trump supporter yesterday, I said, listen, with all these tariffs that Donald Trump's putting in place, you have companies like Stellantis. They're laying over 900 Americans off. All right, I want you to put yourselves in those people's shoes. These are people, some of whom voted for Donald Trump, who are starting to realize I voted for this, right? What do you tell those people who just got laid off, right? They already were struggling. They was already crying about eggs and Joe Biden and inflation. They walk into work. The chief operating officer sends them an email. Hey, due to the tariffs that Donald Trump has just imposed, we are temporarily laying you off. Your last check will be available for you today. You can come down to HR or it'll be direct deposited. But in the meantime, clear out your belongings and go ahead and get file for unemployment. Here are some resources to help you. Imagine going home this week to your wife and kids, unemployed, with your last paycheck lingering. No Doge envelope, right? And understanding that the cost of groceries, gas, your utility bills, all of that is about to go through the roof. You know, just like everybody else knows, you aren't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it 9 months with no money and everything going up. You know that. And I'm talking to the men right now. You can see it in my eyes. These men are getting terrified. What you think? And I got to say this. What do you honestly think the woman you're with is going to do once it becomes clear to her you're no longer an asset, you're a liability? What do you think she's going to do? You convinced her to go vote for Donald Trump. Oh, I can tell you, it's going to get nasty. It's going to get nasty because the whole time she's going to start resenting you. Oh my gosh, I went along. Why did I listen to this guy? And you're going to keep showing, honey, I got it. It's going to work out, honey, and this and that. And eventually, 2 or 3 months in, she's going to go, I won't be listening to him again. And there's division in the relationship, right? They don't like it when I turn into the relationship guru, but this is my bail. This is what I've done before. I used to be a relationship talker on TikTok. I used to talk about it. I'll explain. She's going to start resenting you, Brad, Chad, whatever your name is. And then next thing you know, where are you at, honey? Oh, I'm over here. Well, I'm over here. But did you find a job yet? No, I'm still looking. Okay. 2-3 days later, maybe weeks. Man, where's my wife at? Where's she at? You know where she's at? She's on TikTok watching Big Zeus. Woo! Yeah. Someone wrote she will find a better man. Okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because listen, somebody has to take care of you. Somebody has to help get these bills paid. Some people really need stainless steel appliances. Some people really need food, water, and shelter. And listen up, if you ain't providing that, you got to go. W Zeus. But you could go look for a job with Donald Trump, all right? If you feel like it, all right, you could go try checking Donald Trump out at Mar-a-Lago and see if he got some work for you, but I promise you he won't, because Donald Trump knows one thing, especially to you brothers and sisters out there and you Latinos for Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows y'all just trying to get around him so y'all could get access to some snow bunnies, but it's not going to work. W Zeus. Let's get back to the policy. You want to know how you know tariffs are bad? And then I'll say this, and then we'll go to the box, and we'll have conversations with those who are brave enough to get in the box and actually engage and be respectful and act like they actually got a brain upstairs. It's bad when Ted Cruz went on the Fox News, and he's crying about these tariffs. So when you see Ted Cruz crying on Fox News, I want you Trump supporters to know all bets are off. There's really nothing you could say to convince me that tariffs are good. All right. When we get real Republicans getting up here and telling Donald Trump, hey, bro, you're on the wrong side, you know it's a bad thing.
Look, I think it is a mistake to assume that we will have high tariffs in perpetuity. I don't think that would be good economic policy. I am not a fan of tariffs. And the announcement yesterday, look, time is going to tell in the next month or two or three what happens. If the result of yesterday's announcement is a lot of our trading partners across the globe dramatically reduce the tariffs they charge on U.S. goods and services, and the consequence of that is the U.S. government dramatically cuts the tariffs that were announced yesterday, that would be a great outcome. That would be good for America. If the result is our trading partners jack up their tariffs and we have high tariffs everywhere, I think that is a bad outcome for America. Tariffs are a tax on consumers, and I'm not a fan of jacking up taxes on American consumers. So my hope is these tariffs are short-lived and they serve as leverage to lower tariffs across the globe. So
How many of you all believe? What Senator Ted Cruz just said? All right, I'm going to bring up this account just to make sure people know where to find me for a quick second. But how many people out there understand that what Ted Cruz just said speaks volumes about how reckless Donald Trump is? And this is why I got to do it one more time. To all of you Trump supporters who are still out there believing Donald Trump, that these tariffs are somehow a good thing, I got some bad news for you. You're a fool. And in the meantime and in between time, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do? Let's warm up the lake of fire. And once again, let's go ahead and send every single Trump supporter that is still on the Trump ship. It's not a Trump train anymore. It's a Trump ship that got a lot of holes in it, right? It got a lot of holes in it and it's sinking. All right. And they're still on it thinking Donald Trump is going to save them. Let's send them where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence, you matter, demon.
All right. Now let's go ahead and have the town hall. All right. I'm gonna change what we do. We're gonna call what I do over here now. These are TikTok town halls. All right, where we get to actually hear from Americans all over the country about what's really going on without all of the propaganda. All right, because I don't want to hear propaganda. I really don't, because I know it, you know it. We could all go look up the propaganda ourselves. I want to know what's happening in your areas, where, especially as it relates to what the Trump administration is. Do not get into my box, especially MAGA, and start trying to explain to me how I got to trust in and believe in, add the 5, drop the 6, and do all of this extra math in order to make things work. I'm not doing that. Right now, I want us all to understand the stock market is in decline. The country is in decline. Millions of people have lost trillions of dollars in the stock market. You cannot get in the box and then tell us, well, you know what, Zeus, this is just actually, this is an opportunity for you to actually invest, right? You can invest, right? Buy the dip, Zeus, and then Donald Trump is going to reverse courses, and that 3 trillion, that 4 trillion that just got wiped away. Blink your eyes, click your heels together, Zeus, and next thing you know, it'll be an increase of $10 trillion. I don't buy that. I may have been born at night, but not last night. Ladies and gentlemen, W Zeus in the chat. I don't want no MAGA mathematics. I want simple, clear answers. And don't bring up Joe Biden at all. And Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go ahead and address this. The jobs report came out. And what did Donald Trump say? Because the job numbers are very, it actually showed, despite the fact that him and Doge did what they did, there's been an increase. So I just want to make sure you Trump supporters understand that if you bring that conversation up, you are now officially eliminating the ability to bring Joe Biden name up going forward. Because if you take credit for those job numbers, you're basically saying that's 100% Donald Trump. So anything else after that is 100% Donald Trump. You can't take that and then turn around and say, I'm not taking that. So I wouldn't even bring that up if I were a Trump supporter. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. All right. And I'll bring you right on up, and we will address whatever is going on in your world. All right. Good point, Edward. Thank you. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up. All right. All right. You know what I'll do? I don't like seeing too much on my screen. I will go ahead and we'll drop the main account. But ladies and gentlemen, before I drop this main account, make sure you are following me on the main account. And if you came in to this show through my main account, make sure you're following me on this backup account. All right, because I gotta step my game up on this app. I can't take the bait all the time, even though it's so fun to do. We got to try to keep it as respectful and stay within the guidelines of this app. All right, because you never know, right? So make sure you're following both. Make sure you share the live out to each and every person you believe could be impacted in a positive way by this message, because it's not just about what I'm saying. It's actually about what everyone else that gets in the box and participates says, even if they're on the wrong side of the aisle. I'll say this. A lot of people on the other side of the aisle, they're still under this fog. And I understand this. Someone reached out to me and said, Zeus, you know what? I appreciate that you have a strange way, but you're effective at it, of getting people on the right to understand how crazy they sound. I don't know how you do it, Zeus, but thank you. So I want to make sure you all understand this is about decoding MAGA and giving each and every person out there the ability to respond to these demons in real time. Because, you know, these people go out there and they live their lives and they run across these people. And it's like, when you hear them say these things, you can't fly off the handle all the time. You got to really make sure they understand, hey, I know the lies. I do. I hear them all day. But I want you to actually think about what the heck you're saying. W Zeus in the chat. All right, put a 1 in the chat and I'll bring you right on up here. We don't got all morning, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, we don't have all morning to do the same song and dance. All right. If you're a Trump supporter, put a 1 in the chat. I'll bring you right on up. Somebody said I'm TikTok's #1. Whatever. I don't want to buy into that. Will I go live after the app gets banned? You know, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about it, but you know, I haven't decided if I really want to keep doing it. But you know, if there's a need, I might figure out a way to do it. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, so I can bring you up real quick. All right. All right, there we go. Loud one. Come on up here. Come on up here. They're scared of me. I don't know why these Trump supporters are scared of me, because what they know is this: nothing they say rattles me. Everything that a MAGA has thought of, everything that a Trump supporter has thought of, and 9 times out of 10, they've already said it to me, and it's been debunked. And so what I want to do is get fresh information from these Trump supporters. Like, really, what the heck is going on? Good morning, loud one.
What's up, man? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. You voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
All right. What part of the country are you in?
Florida.
Florida? All right. Well, let me ask you this. Why did you vote for Donald Trump, if you don't mind?
Why?
Yeah.
Because Democrats are insane.
Okay,
That's
but
right, man. They're
well,
bringing our country down.
in what way?
Joe Biden was doing a terrible job.
How old are
Doesn't
you?
even, Joe Biden wasn't even the president. We all know that. Everybody else around him was running the country.
But let's be honest. I've heard that before. What else do you got? I mean,
You've heard that before.
yeah. I mean, because I
Bro,
would
you
hate.
can't look at Joe Biden and see like a zombie, a Walking Dead zombie.
No, I actually heard he was pretty exhausted from all the work he was doing, and you could agree that.
What the fuck?
Hey man, come on, we don't
Dude,
curse on
Joe
this show.
Biden,
You can't
most of the
curse on the
time
show,
he
bro.
vacationed while he was president, bro.
You can't curse on this show. We want to keep the show respectful. All right. So, loud one, if you don't mind, honestly, this is your opportunity to get this out the way you see it. All right? Could you unmute yourself now? And let's start this all over again. Loud one.
Yo.
All right, you're back.
Man, I wasn't cursing. Stop
No,
lying.
All right, let's start over. All right, so you voted for Donald Trump because you don't believe Joe Biden was doing anything.
Hell no, bro.
Okay.
That's why Kamala wouldn't. They didn't vote her in. That's why they didn't vote her in. Every time she was asked, "Hey, what are you gonna do for the country?" It's just a whole word salad.
Were you able to vote when Trump was in office the first time?
Yeah.
Why do you think he didn't get reelected?
Propaganda, stolen elections. I mean, I remember it when it went down, 2020.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I get it. Well, I want to know if you've actually looked into some of the things the Democrats actually have done for everyday Americans before in terms of like civil rights, voting rights, labor laws, or anything like that. Have you checked into that? Maybe even the American Rescue Plan. Have you really looked into?
Come on, man.
I mean, I'm being honest.
What civil rights don't you have?
No.
Voting rights don't you have?
Do you know how you got the ability to vote?
Yes.
How?
Our country put laws in for the people to vote.
What if I were to tell you that the people that helped you to get the right to vote were Democrats? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So this is why when people like you get in my box and say these things,
Are you talking about they got us the right to vote when?
Yeah.
When?
The Voting Rights Act, you can go look it up. It was signed back then, probably before you were born. But there's a lot of things Democrats tend to do that.
But when are you talking about?
Back in the 60s,
Democrats did that. You're saying that they got us the right to vote? When was that?
Back in the 60s.
No, dude. No.
So and what you are seeing now is Donald Trump is trying to take away some of those freedom and liberties, honestly, through some of the executive orders. Well, I mean, I don't think.
Look, I got problems with Trump. I got a few problems with him.
Okay, well, what are those?
That he loves being a little good boy for Mr. Netanyahu.
Oh, okay.
Whatever he says, he's willing to go to war for them, and I really hate that. He needs to change that.
Okay,
and he will not change that. So,
what about this? All right, I'm glad you want. I'm glad you want to come back to the past, and now we can get into what make some of the things you can criticize Trump on. What about him not bringing down the price of groceries?
No, they're going down. I go to the grocery store almost 2 times a week, and I can tell you right now, I can see that they're going down.
Okay, you really believe that because not a lot of us see that happening, loud one. And the gas prices.
With my own eyes, so
okay, did he cut your utility bill?
I'm not saying my grocery bill went down $100. No way.
Well, how much did it go down?
I see a couple, $20 lower.
Okay, so you got a bargain on something. That doesn't equate.
I didn't get a bargain, man. Whatever. Yeah. All right,
okay, so here's why I'm bringing this up. He put these blanket tariffs in. You're watching this?
The tariffs thing?
Yeah, and they're estimating that it's going to cost you an additional $2,100.
I'm not worried about it, and I'm not fussing and crying over it. I mean, just let it do what it has to do.
Okay.
If it works, it works.
Okay,
if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Okay, well,
I about it. Let the man do his job.
I see that I'm not able to actually get through, and we're not able to actually get to any place of mutual understanding. So from the way this conversation is going, you're still satisfied with the way Donald Trump is running the country, despite the fact that you see the stock market, performing. Wait a second.
Illegal immigrants, not regular people like y'all say. Oh, he's deporting everybody, Americans. No, he's not.
Okay. Well, listen, loud one. What I'll do is this, because I gotta move it on. I'm going to let other people give me some feedback about what they've heard you say. And I just want you to want to know, are you going to be able to sit in the audience and listen to some of the feedback other people might have?
Probably for another 5 minutes, man.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and I'm going to drop you down. And I'm going to be honest with you. Judgment is coming your way. I got to send you there. I gotta send you to hell, brother. I gotta send.
The only one that can judge me is God.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now that's Loud One. You see how these town halls are going, ladies and gentlemen. You couldn't get anything through to Loud One. Hey, Loud One. You think the Democrats are crazy despite all the help the Democrats have given you and your family, bro. You're on the wrong side of history, and your ancestors, they would be totally disappointed with you. All right? And in the meantime, in between time, ladies and gentlemen, you know that he's not telling the truth. And you know what we got to do? Send him straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Alrighty then. Let's bring up our next guest, all right, who might have a different angle in terms of what they heard Loud Ones say. I'll bring up the political novice, all right. She's been very, very on top of things. Good morning. How are you doing? Are you there, political novice? Are you there? Uh-oh, we might be having a connection issue. All right, I guess you're not there. All right, I'll bring up Holy Vibration. Good morning, how are you doing? Good morning. Oh, Liam, how did I bring you up? You want to send me another guest request? Send me a guest request, Liam. I'm gonna bring you back up, but I gotta do it the way that I normally do. I like to go back and forth. All right, but send the guest request. I'll bring you up. Holy Vibration. I'm sorry for the mix up.
No, you're good, man.
Yes.
Hey, Zeus.
Now, how can I help you, brother? How are you doing? Did you hear the previous guest? Is there something you wanted to say to him and then say something about whatever it is that was on your mind?
Well, first of all, I don't think he was being very truthful with you. I think he just came up just to play some games because he didn't sound like anybody intelligent who had actually sat down and looked at everything on what he really wanted to vote on.
Thank you.
So, but anyway, you and I spoke last month.
I believe so. Yes.
And I'm still conflicted, Zeus, because we're over 100 days now of Trump being in office, right?
Almost 100, but we're close.
Call me silly, but wasn't this his campaign?
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one. Starting the day I take the oath of office, I will rapidly drive prices down and we will make America affordable again. Prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down and they'll come down fast. We will rapidly defeat inflation. We're going to bring your prices down. Vote Trump and your incomes will soar. Your net worth will skyrocket. Your energy cost and grocery prices will come tumbling down.
Zeus.
Right.
I lost $250,000 in my 401k last week.
Oh. Whoa. That's the highest amount I've heard someone say on wow.
250 grand.
Wow.
And you know what?
Hang in there, brother. I would be livid if I was in your position. So I'm actually happy you're controlling yourself and not really letting it ruin. Wow.
Yeah. 250 grand. And you know what? This morning I was listening to this economist from Cambridge University. He said, you know, Trump is saying how, oh yeah, these tariffs, how they're going to force every people to create these new companies here in America.
Mm.
But what he failed to understand is that these new companies need to buy resources from abroad in order to create a new business.
Wow.
And they're going to have to pay the taxes on the resources that they need to build a new company here in America. And Kamala Harris nailed it. She nailed it. She said exactly what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And look what's happening. Look what's happening. My wife and I live in San Diego.
Okay. Oh, that's okay.
We're by Imperial County, which is the southern part of California. It's near the border of Mexico.
Okay. Yeah.
So we get a lot of our cabbage, broccoli, and everything else like that.
Right.
And avocados. Walmart increased one avocado to $2.75.
What?
From 59 cents before.
Wow.
And the reason being is because all of these day workers, they are afraid and they leave.
Wow.
The price of gas is going up because the tariffs are now beginning to affect the imports of oil. And see, MAGA, we not only did you and I try to say to MAGA, hey, you're not going to like what you're going to get. But Mrs. Harris here, he said that she has consulted with many economic minds, and they all said that his plan is going to be the destruction of our economy.
Yep.
And we're seeing that right now. And Trump's like, oh, it's a temporary. We're the patient. Now we're going through healing.
Only people that believe that are his supporters. There's just no way I would watch. You said 250,000 disappeared. How? Why? Does that make you feel better hearing him say stuff like that at all?
No. And you know what? I'm not really upset with Donald Trump. I'm upset with all of the fools that voted for him. Because now when I see somebody who's wearing a MAGA hat, I got to control myself. I don't want to go up and get in their face and say, hey, look what you did, man. You know, are you going to recover my 250 grand for me? And I mean, look at all the jobs that are lost. I mean, we used to pay 59 cents, Zeus, for an avocado coming across the border. Now it's $2.75.
This is crazy. This is insane.
Yeah.
This is.
Where do we go from there?
My question is honestly because I appreciate you. Basically putting things in perspective for Americans, especially MAGA. How do you think these people really feel deep down inside? Because I was talking to a good friend of mine, and I said the issue with MAGA is they're very, very loyal to each other. They're very loyal to Donald Trump, and their loyalty, I believe, will be their downfall.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Zeus, what you're saying is a pretty spot on, because see what happened is they got duped into believing Trump. But they are so dug down deep into being in alliance with him that they don't know how to get back out of the hole that they created for themselves.
Wow.
So they need to save face, right?
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So they will say anything and everything under the sun to save face because they know they have egg on their face right now. And if they were to backpedal, then they would look like they lost. And so they don't want to do that. So that's why they give him every conceivable excuse under the sun. And I have cousins in Ohio who are so far right, it's not even funny.
Wow.
And I try to talk some sense into those guys.
Yeah.
And they say, well, you know what? I don't care if I have to pay all these prices because I know Trump is going to make everything all better. Well, I said, hey, wait a minute, man. Weren't you complaining about the prices earlier? Now all of a sudden it's okay? See, that's the hypocrisy in MAGA.
Yeah.
That's the hypocrisy, Zeus, in MAGA. Is they don't know that they've been played.
That part. Well, listen, Holy Vibration, I think you laid it all down on the ground. And I know they understand what you're saying, even if they don't want to realize it. But they know exactly what you're saying. There's not a Trump supporter on the face of this earth. Well, actually, I should take that back. But you said you lost 250,000. Anybody with common sense would be very upset about that, especially if they didn't, do anything to lose it. It just ended up happening because the person they voted for did this. But yeah, they're loyal and they think somehow this is a W. But we're going to continue to expose these hypocrites because that's exactly what they are. All right.
Hey Zeus, I got one last thing to say. If anybody lives in Southern California and San Diego, tomorrow in Encinitas, California, on the street of Encinitas Boulevard, there's a brand new a Tesla dealer there. There's going to be a huge protest. Thousands of people are going to show up tomorrow. CBS 8 News is supposed to be there tomorrow. I encourage anybody and everybody who lives in San Diego County to show up tomorrow in Encinitas, California, on the corner of El Camino Real and Encinitas Boulevard. It's going to be epic. Okay, Zeus, I love you, man.
Love you too, brother. All right, and keep up the good fight. Hopefully something pans out. But yes, I'm glad that you are sticking to it and making sure people understand what's really happening in this great country of ours. It's not going to be so great if this keeps up. But ladies and gentlemen, W's in the chat for Holy Vibration. Thank you, brother. That is a gut-wrenching story, ladies and gentlemen. And again, it's not every day that I get touched like that, but $250,000 because of this ridiculous, incompetent administration. And, the loyalty, you might have thought we were joking when we were saying it, ladies and gentlemen, but we weren't. I want to get this on the record. This is Jeanine Pirro. You know who she is. She's on Fox News, billionaire. She's giving Donald Trump's supporters the words to say when they see their 401k tanking. She's giving them, she's literally, because they consume Fox News. Listen to what she says on Fox News in front of millions of Trump voters, all right, to try to provide them with some comfort about their 401ks disappearing, in some cases over 250,000. All right, listen to this.
And he's delivering. And you know what? I don't really care about my 401k today. You know what? Not that I can afford it. Not that it isn't important. Not that I'm not at a point in my life when I should be worried about my 401k, because I am. But this is what I believe. I believe in this man. And I believe that what we're seeing now with his bringing in $1 trillion in business and manufacturing and companies moving back to the United States.
All right. And so what we want to do is let's go ahead and give Jeanine Pirro, I'm going to go ahead and give her the Lake of Fire treatment because two things. You don't care about your 401k? That's a lie. Anybody that has worked hard to put money into that, you want your money back. Case closed. I don't care what you say. Second thing, trust in this man. I would never put any trust in any man, let alone Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Silence, you matter, Damon. I see that some Trump supporters are in the audience right now, and I see some of them have actually started to cry. I see the tears, and I can actually feel them a little bit. But you shouldn't be upset with me or anybody else that's up here delivering this truth the way that we're delivering it. And so what I'll say is this. Maybe you didn't hear my PSA announcement at the top of this broadcast, but I'll play it for you.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. Let's bring up the next guest, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Liam, you're here.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you got for me? I've seen you around, but I've never spoken with you. So it's interesting that you and I have decided to, have this discussion. But what do you got for us?
Well, I might lose you, but let's just talk until then. So the last man that was crying to you, talking about his 401k and talking about the pro in San Diego and Encinitas, with basically a smirk on his face. You guys are basically propagating a T group in the United States at this point, which you guys have done, targeting.
You think so?
An all-American company in Tesla. You guys are so unhinged.
Liam, I think the connection broke. Liam. And you got to get
to this conversation.
Your connection is.
How do you come back?
Your connection is not really strong.
How do you come back from the targeting?
Liam, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I think the connection is going on. But can you hear me?
I'm here. Hello?
Yeah. I didn't sense that anything he said was aimed at committing any kind of crimes. And I do believe that Americans have the right to peacefully protest. Last I checked, that's acceptable, right? Liam, are you there? Liam, you got to get to a place, Liam, where your connection is stronger, and then I'll bring you back up because I can address all of that. And again, I understand this is the narrative that's out there, and there has to be a proper response. And I'll say this: people protesting or boycotting, I don't really have an issue. If you're breaking the law, I have a serious issue, because I could also imagine owning a vehicle and, you get off your work and you get to your car and somebody's either stolen it and, or they've done some serious damage. I would be livid. So no one's advocating for that. But I also think to a certain degree, Liam, is Elon funding this kind of stuff to happen at his plants and stuff so he can somehow recover insurance money? Because I know that there's that angle, or to try to gain sympathy. I know that there's that angle. So I don't have all the information, but I'd be more than happy to look over whatever information you have that could basically link the Democrat Party to all of that stuff that's happening, Liam. Seriously. But again, if you're going to protest or boycott, as long as you're not breaking the law doing it, it's your prerogative. But I'll say this, Liam, and they don't like it when I say it, but I'll bring it up because guess what? It needs to be brought up. Where was this energy at on January 6th when you were talking about people that voted for Donald Trump actually destroying the federal government, or going to Congress and committing all kinds of acts of violence and breaking and entering and trespassing? Where was that at, Liam? If you would be consistent, I would say, Liam, you know what? I agree with you. Right is right, wrong is wrong, no matter who does it. But Liam, I have a hard time going along with you knowing that Donald Trump basically put a bunch of criminals, he freed them, he pardoned them, and he released them back into the community, and basically said, it's okay for you to attack law enforcement officers. Yeah, even though y'all like to say y'all back the blue, you weren't backing the blue that day, you were attacking the blue. Y'all like to say y'all are the party of law and order, but how do you call that? What is law and order when you vote for somebody that you know has been convicted of felonies and indicted on multiple fronts and found to be liable for, doing very nasty things to women, Liam? yes, someone wrote it in the chat. It really does make you sound and look like a hypocrite. And one of the things, Liam, I don't like to do, I don't let hypocrites try to dictate to me how they think and feel about what I'm doing. Because the Bible, the good book, it says, how are you going to tell somebody to get a splinter out of their eye, right? When you got this big old 2x4 sitting in your eye, Liam. And so, Liam, nice try, all right, to try to duck and dodge about what's going on in this country, bringing up the whole little Tesla thing. What we're really here to talk about, Liam, is why Donald Trump isn't delivering results to the American people. I could honestly care less about things of the past. Yeah, I don't like him I don't like that he won the election, but we're talking about right now, right here, today. There's no golden envelopes. W holy vibration. People are losing their 401ks. Grocery prices are going through the roof. I could care less about Elon Musk or all of his baby mamas that I know. We taxpayers, we're funding him to be, we're basically funding Elon to live like a rapper, right? All these baby mamas, no accountability. Who knows what he's popping and getting lit on these days, right? But as far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't have to finance it. So Liam, what I'll do is this. You can send me a guest request and we could finish the conversation, but I got to move it on. Liam, you know what this is. And let me ask the W Rick in the chat. Let me ask the audience. I shouldn't say audience. Let me ask my fellow Americans out there that just heard Liam get up here and try to give us a sob story about Elon Musk and Tesla. Wasn't Donald Trump campaigning on getting rid of the EV mandate? Do you all remember this? He was getting rid of the EV mandate. That's electric vehicles, right? He was saying electric vehicles are terrible, right? So how did all of a sudden electric vehicles become a good thing? And why are Trump supporters who also hated electric vehicles now openly saying we love electric vehicles? I don't get it, all right? But we'll move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move on to my next guest, my next panelist, all right? W's in the chat for, W. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for letting me up so quickly. I wanted to ask you a question. If you knew somebody was a thief, would you invite them in your house and leave your wallet there?
No.
If you knew somebody was an abuser of children, would you have them babysit your children? No, it's really beyond comprehension with me how these folks will sit around knowing a convicted felon is sitting in our White House, an adjudicated SAer is sitting in our White House, a person who admittedly stated he did not pay taxes, hid his taxes for 4 years, lied to his very supporters saying, I will show you my taxes in 2 weeks. I will show you the healthcare plan in 2 weeks. I will show you my taxes when it's out of audit. I'll show you this, I'll show you that. And 4 years went by, and it was only because of our judicial system that we got access to those tax records and found out that while he was a sitting president, he failed to pay anything except for $750. He paid more taxes to the Chinese government than he did in the United States of America. So I am always shocked every morning when I listen to your show at the absolute inability to comprehend what this man is doing to our nation. It's never surprising to me, certain people that come up and say things, but at what point do you not recognize that you are being harmed right alongside the Democrats that you claim to be the problem? And I want to remind folks that on January 6th, it wasn't Democrats that were unalived. Four MAGA supporters were unalived. Not one, 4 MAGA supporters were unalived on January 6th. After January 6th, several law enforcement officers were unalived. Brian Sicknick, who, by the way, his family admittedly stated he supported Trump, died on January 7th, and multiple officers after that. So I want everybody to remember this. Can you imagine swearing an oath to protect the Congression, the congressional leadership of our country, the capital of the United States, know that you swore an oath to protect the United States of America, and you're standing there, and the very person sitting at the helm of our country orders people to take upon the Capitol and to interrupt a congressional hearing doing the country's business, to establish and to report to the American people that we are doing the right thing, and then have your very vice president of the same party also be threatened to be unalived. This is no longer a Republican versus Democrat thing. This is no longer that you can point the finger at Democrats and say it's your fault. This is an actual cultish mentality of harming the American people and everything the Constitution protects American citizens. And if you can sit there every morning and believe, as he is gutting our federal government, gutting veteran employees, gutting teachers associations, gutting the education department, gutting the healthcare system. Let me just remind everybody in here, HHS, Health and Human Services. Health and Human Services are being gutted. That protects all of the Americans' public health. It protects our vaccine research. It protects our doctors, our nurses, and our children to ensure. My son and I were sitting in the living room last night with his girlfriend, and we were talking about vaccines, and they have very different backgrounds. And his girlfriend goes, I don't know if I've had all of these things. So they both brought up their medical records.
Wow.
And my son has had 36 vaccinations. 36 vaccinations in his lifetime because we were military, right?
Right.
So he pulls up his vaccination to her 17. Because that's what we need to start looking at, is that where the science goes that protects our health and human services, that if it's good enough for our military families to ensure that they are not bringing diseases back from foreign nations to the United States, to protect all children with vaccinations, to have access to medical decisions that are pure and for your bodily autonomy. And this is really important, Zeus, that any person that comes up here at this point, after all we know, they cannot any longer take the stance that, well, we have to wait and see. There's no more waiting and seeing.
Thank you.
We already know that the enemy is within the White House. We already know that this administration is literally harming for their own personal gain. And I want to remind everybody that the Social Security office currently has a $2.7 trillion surplus. $2.7 trillion surplus. For every 15-to-1 ratio that this department started at, for every 15 people paying into Social Security, one person was a recipient. That ratio is now 3-to-1. For every 3 Americans paying into that, one person is a recipient because of all the golden handshakes that the Republican Party has stolen from this. And that is what they're after. They are after that $2.7 trillion that you, as an American citizen, regardless of your party, has paid into. You have worked your you've worked your backside off for all of your life to pay into something to ensure that you had monies at the end of your road, that during your golden years you could access that funding. And you have a predator in office that is praying to steal your monies that belong to you and other American citizens. And last point on that.
Go ahead. You're doing an outstanding job.
The migrants that come into this country, and they are doing so to work in our agriculture, our hospitality, our construction, they pay into those services by the billions every single year. They are the things that have been upholding that 15-to-1 ratio that we lost. They have been paying into it with the hope and the dream that at some point their hard work and dedication to this country that welcomed them, they would have access to that for their children and their grandchildren moving forward. And this administration has allowed another foreigner to come in step on those migrant workers that have worked their tails off to protect and serve in their communities. And they are now saying that this South African apartheid criminal who literally out of his own mouth said that if Harris got into office, he would go to prison for crimes he committed. He said it in an interview with Tucker Carlson. He admitted to these people he had committed crimes. And the monies that he has, that $400 billion that they like to say he's the richest man.
Yeah.
Where's he getting that money, Zeus?
Could you
From
please?
us.
Oh.
From us. Every single one of those subsidy contracts that he has is what's holding his entire existence together. 400 billion. Think about it. 400 billion is the number they say he's worth personally. 400 billion is the number of dollars that the American people have subsidized every one of his companies. Tesla, SpaceX, Twitter. Americans are the ones keeping Elon floating. So until we wake up in this country and recognize that we as American citizens, regardless of the letter next to your name, we are the ones that are keeping these people rich. Stop it. Take our country back, fight for our children's civil rights, human rights, women's rights, educational rights, a belief in science and math, and let's progress this nation forward. We can't sit back idly by anymore and allow this to continue. Less than 100 days, the destruction is real, and it's happening in the White House right now.
Amen.
By a bunch of white supremacists, admittedly white supremacists, and are harming our nations with an apartheid billionaire that was allowed American contracts tenfold.
Wow.
That's it. I love you so much. Thank you for letting me up.
We love you too. All right. That's what you call venom. What you delivered was to me an unresounding rebuke of all things MAGA, and it was just so much truth. So I appreciate that, seriously, Jim. W's in the chat for Jim. W's. Nope. And I had my lie detector on. There were no lies detected. Seriously.
I want everybody to remember this because Liam is the one that just really rubbed me the wrong way. American citizens have a right to every single amendment in the Constitution.
True.
Your First Amendment is your voice and your vote. Do not let these people take that away from you. You have a right to free press. And the moment you hear people tell you that they don't believe the news, that is fascism 101. The news, real journalists want to report the truth and only the truth to the American people to ensure that you are receiving the information you need to make educated decisions in your vote. And when you are lied to at the top echelon of our country, to the degree that we are witnessing, that is where the harm comes from. They want you confused. They want you discombobulated. They want you to be off your game. So it is imperative that you have to read, you have to research, and you have to comprehend the laws of our country. Did you ever stop to think, Zeus, why when he did that Bible and he put the Constitution in it, that he didn't want anything past the 10 Amendments?
I didn't give it any thought, but would you please open up the minds that are willing to receive this information?
Everything after that 10th Amendment is about our rights as American citizens for voting, women's rights, BIPOC rights, voting. 6 different things are in our Constitution, and you guys can go research it because I could spew for hours, but I'm just saying, this has got to be the most important pinnacle of your life. We are at a precipice of either falling off the cliff or climbing the mountain. And we need to climb the mountain. We need to educate our friends. We need to educate our families. We need to educate our children. Buy books that have been banned off the internet. Show them that you are willing to educate yourselves. Comprehend that there is a measles outbreak right here in this country that we have never seen in the last 60 years because we are failing to vaccinate our children. We literally surpassed yesterday the entire total of cases last year was 224. We have surpassed that tenfold now. There are 5 additional states that have measles outbreaks. Listen to your doctors on this app. Dr. Keisha, Dr. Sharon, Dr. Leslie, start paying attention to the science that is out there. We live longer because of vaccinations and medical science. We don't succumb to diseases at 35 or 40 anymore. We live into our 70s and 80s because of medical science. Stop listening to the people that are trying to scare you and listen to facts, data, statistics, evidence, and admission. When they tell you they're committing crimes, believe they are committing crimes.
Tell them, Jim.
I love you so much.
Love you
I'll
too.
let
Oh my
somebody else
gosh.
up.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, W Jim in the chat. All right, once again, no lies detected. This is what it's all about. All right, I appreciate you coming on the show. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. All right, you see that, ladies and gentlemen? If you actually get in the box and are being open and honest, it's an easy experience. But if you get up here playing around and pretending like these Trump supporters are, it's not going to be a good experience. Do we have any Trump supporters out there that want to come up here now and try to at least express what they're thinking and feeling after? That was a heck of a steamroll, to be quite honest. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you up. And don't worry, I'm trying to be a little bit more within the guidelines of TikTok, but we want to get you to get in, get out as fast as possible. We don't really need you to go into detail about how life is beating you up and all that. We all got our issues, but we want to know, what is Donald Trump doing right now that's actually helping you? Because everybody that's getting in the box in one way or another, they're testifying it's not working out for them. So I'm curious about why you still think it's working out. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. All right. I think Trump is doing a great job. All right. Let's see who said that. Or, okay, David, come on up here. David, come on up here. I'm a Democrat, but I'm a fair person at the end of the day. And so if there's something we're not getting right, what we want to do is make sure we have the opportunity to get it right. And that's why we need the Trump supporters to actually get up here and tell us what's really going on based on what they see. And if there's any lies that you're telling, it's not going to go over so well for you. So, right, put a 1 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. W Zeus in the chat. You are all so lovely. You not fear, you spew hate. All right, Bridget, could you come up here? Just 2 minutes, Bridget. Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. I know you all are so busy this morning looking for a job because you know what's happening. Okay, we got Bridget. I'm so sorry I sent another guest request, but ma'am, whoever I sent that to, if you come up, I'm just going to drop you down. We'll talk one at a time. That keeps the live a little bit more robust when we only have one at a time. Good morning, Bridget.
Hello.
How are you? Hi, Bridget. How are you?
Good.
All right. You voted for Trump?
Oh, for sure.
All right. Did you hear what the previous guest, Jim, said?
I don't understand how Democrats don't see what is really going on. It blows my mind. Like all the funneling of money that has been found, and you guys still back, and you still think that that's okay.
Would you be willing to possibly entertain a different angle about the money that you believe is fraudulent and that's been found? Is there a possibility in your world that perhaps what you know might not be the reality or the truth of the matter?
But that's what you guys believe. You believe that everything that anyone else says besides you is all a lie, is all unfactual. You believed all the lies that went through COVID. You believed that you just believe everything you're told. You don't educate yourself on anything.
This is your first time speaking to me, correct? Yeah.
No, I think I've been on here a while back.
I don't remember you, but can I be honest with you? I don't believe everything anyone tells me. My guard is up everywhere I go, especially when I'm out here, because I always think somebody's trying to get over on me. You know what I mean? You ever feel that way? Like, you've been done dirty.
I felt that way the last 4 years.
Okay, so you and I kind of got that in common, right? So when people give me information and it sounds too good to be true, what I tend to do is I don't go for it, because I don't want to end up basically looking like a fool, because I've done that so many times. You know what I mean? I've done
Well,
that before.
I just
So what
wanted to
I
comment real quick on that last lady with the vaccines.
okay, but did you hear what I
You
said before you do that?
Democrats,
Wait. Before you do that, and I'll let you
what's
do
that?
that. Before you go and respond, I just want to make sure you and I have this understanding. I don't like to let people say things to me to make me feel good because it makes me feel like they're playing me and that I can't trust them. So I want to make sure you and I know Zeus doesn't trust every Democrat either. I don't trust every Republican. I don't trust, but I have people that are Republicans that are friends, and
So
if
do
they
you
say,
not believe that all the money that's been funneled, you think that's all fake? You think they just are making that up?
Can
That money just
well,
paid for all this crazy crap, all our money. That is all our
if
money.
you don't mind,
all us Americans are in
all
the
right,
same boat.
Bridget, if you don't mind, I think I do not agree with what Elon Musk is doing and calling it fraud, because I'll give you an example. If you are committing Social Security fraud and they find you, you know what's going to happen?
Do you think they've ever looked in the past decade for anyone?
Yeah, I know a
with
lot of
Social
people.
Security fraud?
Yeah, I know people who've gotten actually sent to prison for Social Security fraud. It's a real thing. They do not.
It's a rare thing.
No, I
It's
said
a
it's
rare thing.
Bridget. I said it's a real thing. Committing Social Security fraud or
It is real.
or even misappropriating federal dollars comes with severe penalties. Anybody caught doing it in this country, you're going down. And I'll say this, if Elon did find however many people, please find me just one of those millions of people that has gone to prison because of this, and you will have my utmost support. But here's the thing, Bridget, I promise you, you're not going to find one person that Elon said was committing waste, fraud, and abuse. You're not going to find them in prison, and this is the issue. Isn't that crazy?
No, they'll go down.
Okay,
Well,
but
it depends who they are. If it's George Soros, if it's
Oh.
Biden's family, if it's Harris, they're not going to go down. If it's
Okay.
Hillary Clinton, you really think they're going to go down? That's
Yeah.
impossible.
Well, they indicted Trump.
Because they should have been in prison a long time ago.
Bridget, I think if it was them, they would go down because
No.
Trump is now president, right? He's president,
You're-
right? Trump is the president, right?
And look, he has judges
Bridget,
that are trying to stop
Bridget.
him from doing a job that we, the people of
Okay.
America, want him to
All right.
do.
All right.
And he
Well,
can't
Bridget.
even stop a judge.
Okay.
So if he
Well,
can't even stop a judge,
All right.
how do you think he's going to throw Biden's family in prison?
Well,
How do you
listen.
think George Soros is going to be in prison? How do you think Fauci is going to pay for the crimes against humanity that he did?
Okay. All right. Well, listen,
He
Bridget.
can't even get a judge to get off his ass.
Okay. Well, listen, Bridget. Would you?
So-
I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor, because I think you got your points out very clearly. You do not trust
Oh wait,
Democrats.
one thing on the vaccines, real
You
quick.
don't trust Democrats, right?
One thing on the vaccines, real quick. If you guys are so for vaccines, how did you think it was okay to let in over 200 million unvaccinated illegals?
Okay. All right.
Unvaccinated.
Okay.
They didn't even have the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
But that was okay.
You think that?
But you think all Americans should be vaccinated.
Well, listen,
That blows my mind.
Bridget, here's the thing, because I think you've said a lot, and I want to give you a fair chance, all right? But I'm going to move it on, and I'm going to allow the audience to respond to what you're saying, all right? Because I 100% disagree with that narrative you're selling, but I know you won't trust me because I'm a Democrat, all right, or because I'm Zeus, one or the other. But would you be willing to listen to some of the feedbacks others may have about the things you're saying? By just
Believe me,
because I'm going to move on. Okay, well you don't gotta come up here. I'm going to drop you.
It's just impossible.
I'm
You
gonna
guys
drop
are on
you.
your own path of destruction.
Okay, well I'm going to drop you, and destruction definitely is on its way. All right, I'm going to drop you, Bridget. All right.
Oh
but,
no, I'm way better off.
Okay, but please remain in the audience and listen to what some people might have to say about what they heard you say. All right, because I don't want you walking
I
around.
already know what they think. I've heard them for the last 4
Okay.
years.
Okay. Well, Bridget, you know what's coming. Do you want to jump in, or you want me to go ahead and do it? And I appreciate you having the courage today to get up here, seriously. But she jumped in. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Bridget knows. Bridget, you know that was wrong what you did, ma'am. You don't need to get up here and be so nasty. A lot of you women, you would look a lot better if y'all would quit letting this MAGA demon do this to you. All right, do better, Bridget. Can't have that.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
We can't have that, Bridget. You can't get up here and do that. That's nasty. All right, let's go ahead and bring up our next panelist. All right. We'll go back and forth. Good morning, Takesha. How are you doing?
Good morning, Zeus. How are you?
I'm all right. It's an interesting situation we got. We got a little bit of a town hall vibe going this morning, and you've heard some wild stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Listen, Zeus. Janine said that she believed in this man, but Zeus R. Kelly believed he could fly. And even though he is flying now because he a jailbird. And I guess Janine want her 401k to be $1.25. So let her keep on believing in this man. It's the way she said it with such admiration. I believe in this man. Right. And then, she probably at home asking her husband, honey, do you think you can, put some brakes on my car? He'll probably say, yeah. She'll probably say, well, I'd rather call the mechanic. You believe in Donald Trump.
Ain't that something?
And the fact that we have become, everybody that doesn't agree with Trump is a Democrat. That's what these people think.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of Republicans that don't support him. So now we're not individuals anymore. We're only related to by our party. Isn't that sad, Zeus?
Good point, yeah. Isn't that sad? Or they call the Republicans, they call them rhinos.
Rhinos.
Yeah.
If you don't support Donald Trump, you're a rhino or a Democrat. And I think that's so sad that at the end of the day, you cannot just be an individual who does not support or believe in this man without being called a hateful person or a radical left or a rhino. What is wrong with these brainwashed people?
That's a good question. They believe in their hearts, honestly, Takesha, that Donald Trump is the way, the truth, and the life. They think
that no man cometh unto the Father but by him.
Right.
They think he's Jesus reincarnated. They almost about to buy him some Jesus sandals and give him a crown of thorns. That's how they act.
Yeah.
Like he the great ultimate sacrifice for their atonement. What's wrong with these people, Zeus?
I am still trying to get to the bottom of that, but I think it has a lot to do with a lack of self-esteem, perhaps.
Zeus, what it has to do with is a lack of love in their home. These people grew up in a home probably with both parents, but was shown no love. So they holding on to Trump because that's the only love they think they got. And he know this. So he uses their vulnerability to keep them strapped to him like a pistol on the side in a Western movie.
Freeze! Put your hands up! Like that?
Yes. I'm just thoroughly embarrassed. By the way, they carrying on by this one man. Like I always said, who if he don't bathe is gonna stink like them.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, he is no greater than you. He is no better than you. He has no more power than you.
Yeah.
If you are a born again believer, you have more power than him. Stop acting like this man is the great Messiah.
Thank you.
Like your life ain't gonna be no better unless he make it better. Who does your hope hang on? It should not hang on Donald Trump.
It shouldn't.
Stop it.
W Takesha in the chat. When you delivering the truth like Takesha is doing, ladies and gentlemen, it's undeniable. And it's sad because they don't think that they worship Donald Trump. And is there anything you could do to help them understand that it's actually quite the opposite, that they do worship Donald Trump? How does a Trump supporter know they're worshiping Donald Trump?
Anytime you say that only one man can fix it and he down here living on this earth, that's when you know you're worshiping Donald Trump.
Only he can fix it.
When you believe wholeheartedly in everything this man says,
yeah,
That's how I know you're worshiping Donald Trump.
Thank you.
When everybody wrong and he the only person right, that's how I know you're worshiping Donald Trump.
Thank you.
When you going around here tattooing him on your body, putting his flags in your yard, putting his face in the back of your truck as a decal, that's how I know you're worshiping Donald Trump.
Amen. Amen. No lies detected. No lies detected. Again, W to Keisha. I don't think he left any more meat on that bone, Takesha. I don't know about that, but
That's all I want. That's all I want to say, Zeus. I think it's sad that, I mean, at the end of the day, what we're seeing is people that have been brainwashed and have a stronghold and don't know they got a stronghold. They think they okay, Zeus.
Yeah.
They don't realize that they got a trauma bond.
Yeah.
It's a trauma bond.
Thank you.
The more you do to hurt them, the more they love it.
Oh, and I can't get behind that. I'm so sorry. You hurt me. All bets are off. I'm not into all that freaky stuff like that. All right. Well, listen, Takesha.
See, like this man told me he the best president ever. Stop it.
Thank you. He's not. He's not. The polls and the results and the information we got all say he's actually the worst president ever. So I don't know how they flipped it that way. Seriously.
Who is your majesty?
You know who that is. That's Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom.
Tiny Tank Top Tim, you can't ask me I started to cuss you out. You can't ask me nothing.
Thank you. W to Keisha.
Ever since that day that you called me a garden tool, you can't ask me nothing. The only thing you can ask me is how far you can go up my butt and kiss.
Oh my God, Takesha. Knock it. Oh. Lord have mercy. Well, listen. All right, W to Keisha in the chat. Don't let them get to you. They're trying to lure us in, but I'm not letting them do it today. All righty then, ladies and gentlemen. All right, W to Keisha in the chat. No lies detected. All right, so as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a show of force this morning. Americans are very, very upset and disappointed. W, Uncle Rocker, that Donald Trump isn't delivering on any of his promises. And what we're trying to do is get MAGA to at least come clean and admit this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the box, all right? And we'll see if we have any Trump supporters out there, all right? If you're a Trump supporter, please put a 1 in the chat, and I will bring you up. I thought I was supposed to bring one lady up. Where is she at? Where did you go, ma'am? I forgot what their name was, but you were just here. I thought you were saying you were a Trump supporter. You were saying I was lying. No Americans are not upset. Verna, all right, Verna, are you the one that I was looking for, Verna, perhaps? All right. There was somebody, I forgot what her name was. Oh, my goodness. Maybe I'm just getting, tired. You never know, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. Beatrice Garcia, come on up here. Send me a guest request, Beatrice. No, Americans are not upset. The left is upset. Beatrice, please send me a guest request, Beatrice. I'll bring you right up. But you guys got to be nice, and you can't get up here and just start monologuing and telling me your life story. I want to get you in and out as fast as possible. All right. What we want to do is unpack whatever it is that you are still processing on your end, and then get you some feedback behind it. All right, Beverly, welcome to the show. Hey, Beverly, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. You voted for Donald Trump?
I did.
And what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Missouri.
Okay, I know. Okay, so Donald Trump campaigned on a number of things. One of, whether it's bringing your utility bills down, cutting the prices of groceries, ending these wars, Ukraine and Israel kind of thing, right?
Right.
And, we heard about waste, fraud, and abuse being found in our government and Doge checks coming, supposedly. But then I look on the TV today, and not just today, but yesterday, and the stock market isn't doing that well. Grocery prices are still going up through the roof. How does this all turn around in your world as success is my question.
Well, I think it takes time. I don't think anything happens overnight. I think that, it's going to take time. And I think that with the tariffs, our country has to be a country that produces. We can't just be a country that has all of our cars coming in from other places and factories, everything being built in other countries, and so I think he's
Is it safe to say that perhaps your perspective about how things in this country work, especially when it comes to like vehicles and how they're manufactured, could it be safe to say that you might not understand how that works? Because some reports are saying a car now could cost anywhere between $5,000 to $15,000 more because of these tariffs. So the world that's basically happening now people are losing their jobs. And everything is going to start costing more.
Well, if you look at, I think it depends on the news that you watch, because the news that I watch and the news that you watch are saying two different things. The news that I watch say the jobs are up by 240,000, where the news that you watch says something different. And so,
well, what news do you watch? Because the audience is curious.
News.
Huh?
I watch Fox News. So I think it's really important that our country has an independent news source where we get the truth. Because we really are not getting a fair, independent news source. We're getting a very...
So you believe everything Donald Trump says still?
I'm not saying I believe everything Donald Trump says, but I don't think that you should believe everything that CNN says.
Well, here's the thing, and I just wanted to make sure you and I are on the same page. I don't just watch CNN or MSNBC. I actually do go watch Fox. I watch Laura Ingraham. You know what I mean? Brett Baer. Yes. I watch these people, and I try to have as much of a balanced approach as possible. And
I agree.
Maybe you're not seeing it right now, but $3 trillion pretty much evaporated, probably more now since I started the show. Over $3 trillion has evaporated into thin air in the stock market because of these tariffs. And I just mentioned that cost of vehicle. I just
understand that the stock market always goes down, but it also always will recover.
I don't know about that, because you heard of a thing called the Great Depression,
sure.
and then you heard of the thing called a recession. And what economists are basically saying, from the last I heard, there's a 60% chance we're actually going to be heading towards a depression. I'm going to call it a depression recession. All right.
But I just watched it. My
do you have a
in the finance?
Do you own a 401k?
I do.
How is it doing?
It's not doing well, but I also am.
Well, thank you for being honest about that. So,
sure, but I'm
imagine this.
I'm going to buy more now than I ever did before, because it's like the stock market is on sale at this point. Have you ever heard of a sale?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the stock market's on sale right now.
Oh.
So this is the point where you buy.
Okay, so I had a guest come up here earlier. I don't know if you saw him, but he said he lost 200. Wait a minute, Beverly.
Your show right now.
Beverly?
I don't take all my news from one news source.
Beverly, can I finish this and then we'll go back to that real quick?
No, but I want to ask you a question. You're talking over the top of me.
What?
Why am I watching your news show right now if I get all of my news from one source?
Good point, Beverly. Good point.
Thank you.
All right. Now, what do you say? Because now I know you got a bit of a diverse background in terms of news, and I'm glad you're taking in some of the Zeus news. That's good for you. But I want to ask you, you said the stock market is on sale.
Yes.
Okay. The gentleman that came up earlier, he said that he just lost $250,000 in the stock market. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever lost that much money?
I have, yes.
You have. So
yes.
you're in the top 1% too?
Ooh, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh,
no.
Okay. So let's just stick to what it is. When you lost that $250,000, how did you lose it?
In the stock market.
Oh, okay. So you're in the same position as this gentleman is, perhaps.
No, I wouldn't say the top 1%. My husband and I are just very close to retiring.
Oh, and so you just
Very
watched it evaporate too.
Yes. Yes.
You want me to? You need a tissue or anything?
No, I just expect it to rebound. So
You
my
have?
husband-
Do you have an extra $250,000 now?
do I have an extra? No.
Okay, because the stock market. Here's the thing. I'm gonna pretend like I'm selling you some stock right now. All right, and let's do this role playing exercise. Hey, Beverly, right now I have a great deal on stocks. They're super cheap. They're ridiculously cheap. You will be the wealthiest person on earth if you give me $250,000 right now. You will be in paradise forever, Beverly. All I need is $250,000. What would your answer be to me?
Well, of course, I don't have that right now.
So what good is a sale if you can't even benefit from it?
Well, I would be buying what I normally
You don't
buy
have.
on
You
a
can't
week-
buy if you don't have the money. Remember, you can't buy it if you don't have the money.
Right.
Kind of a dead end.
No, but all of like my children, my son is a financial advisor. And this is the point where he's buying. My daughter is buying. They're going to buy right now, and it's going to pay off for them in the future.
So they're going to buy. But you personally, you're saying you won't be able to, because I can't get into their scenarios right now just yet. But I know that you're closer to retiring than they are.
Correct.
So time is not really in your favor, hypothetically, compared to as compared to theirs.
Agreed.
So you're to me, you're more in a dire situation, and
Yes.
and I'm at the point in this transaction where I'm going, hey, just give me the $250,000 and you can get this super discounted stock,
Well, no.
and you can't do
I
it.
talked to my financial advisor, and within, we're supposed to retire within the next 5 years, and he says, within the next year, he expects the stock market to rebound. So, yeah.
Did he ask you for more money? Did he ask you for any money?
No.
Okay, so he must have voted for Trump too, huh?
I think anybody in the finance
Okay, all right.
world has.
Okay,
So,
yeah, and so what we're dealing with, right, is from the way that I see it, China just retaliated. They put 34% tariffs. Canada's retaliating, and even Ted Cruz has gone on to Fox News and said, if these countries do this, this is going to be very, very bad news.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays
Well, they've
out.
already done it. And you're right. It's going to be nasty. So, Beverly, I appreciate this candid discussion, because I really do believe that you trust in Donald Trump still. I don't trust in him, and I would encourage you not to. But you have to at least prepare for the chance that your portfolio may never be restored. You have to prepare for that, because think about it. What would it take to get $3 trillion plus added back to the stock market? What would it take?
I can't tell you that. I don't know. I really
So
don't.
what I'll do is this, Beverly, because you've been very kind and I appreciate you having the courage. I'm going to bring up other guests, all right? And they listen to this discussion, and I know perhaps they have a different angle in terms of what you're talking about. Would you be willing to listen to them at least? Because
Sure.
maybe they could say something to you that I'm not, or maybe something that your financial advisor isn't saying. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and proceed to judgment, all right? Because you still support Donald Trump, right?
I do.
Okay, so you know what I do on this show is I have to do the judgment. I have to send you to the lake of fire. But it doesn't mean you're not allowed to still be in the audience at all, but I got to do it.
What's that? I don't even know.
Okay, well, you want me to send you there, or do you want to jump in? But you got to drop off, and I'll do it the rest, all right? Which one do you want? Want me to do it, or are you going to drop off?
Oh, you do it.
Okay, all right. Well, here it goes, Beverly. All right, and again, you sound like a very, very, very sweet woman. But here's the thing, Beverly. You hear that? That's the lake of fire warming up, and somebody has to go into it. All right, and it seems like that could be you, because you're a beautiful person, but when you allow this MAGA demon inside of you to do what it's doing, basically blind devotion to Trump, you're not such a good person. All right, Beverly? Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Hey, Beverly, enjoy that first class trip straight to hell. Sorry, Beverly.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Woo. All right, let's go ahead and bring up our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen. All right, because you can't make this stuff up, but it's very important that every single talking point that they spew, we address it. Good morning, my good friend Val. How are you doing?
Laughing.
Yeah, you're laughing?
Beverly, I talk to people like you on a daily basis. People that want to sit and watch Fox News, come on to social media, try to think they're actually getting news, and don't actually take a single instance of time to pick up a computer, verify anything they've just heard. That is where you're at, Beverly. You've got to verify. Your main news source is admittedly an entertainment channel that does not produce actual news.
Yeah.
All opinion pieces. Problem with opinion pieces, Beverly, is every time you hear one, if you don't go out and actually source the information on the story they're talking about, you can't pull the opinion from the facts. This is where a lot of people are in this country are, Beverly. You're a majority in your party. And people like Donald J. Trump take full advantage of that. There's a reason he said, I love the poorly educated. And when he said poorly educated, he didn't mean high school, college. He meant lazy. Okay? He meant too lazy to go out and actually type some words in a computer and find actual sources on what he's talking about or what he's just actually making up. Beverly, what you'll find is most of the words that come out of your mouth or come out of his mouth never even happened. That's the sad part.
Wow.
Can't even find the story because it never took place. TrustMeBro.com is not a source.
Are you there, Beverly? Because I want to make sure you're hearing what Val is saying about what he heard you say. Do you think, Val, that $250,000 plus that she lost because of the terrorists, do you think she'll have it all back and some in a year?
No. I mean, the way this works, Beverly, is what you're not thinking about is the year. Okay? You're a person that said you're close to retiring. Well, ma'am, if you were going to do that, you probably should have pulled that money before this man came in office. Okay? Because here's the thing. When you're talking about the stock market and 401ks, it'll rebound. Well, will it rebound? We don't know. But let me tell you about rebounds. Sometimes rebounds take years. But I want you to remember this. Any time that there is a rebound, those years that it took for it to come back, you didn't make anything.
Oh, that's crazy. But you're right. Because she could have been making money off of the money she already had in there.
Correct. I mean, nobody, if you want a race to zero, keep playing games like this. This is what we talk about. This is why I said when we lost big in this country is when we lost pensions. You know what I'm saying? When pensions moved to more of a 401k plan, because pensions were guaranteed. That money continued to grow based on the profits of the company that you worked for.
Wow.
Okay? So you had more control. Your work actually meant more toward what you do. Now we put this country in a position of 401ks, which is just a tax code. Okay? That your company gets a tax break every time they put money in your 401k for you.
Wow.
But then they turn around with other investors and manipulate the stock market to get that money back. This is where people have, you know what I'm saying? This is where I have issues with what's happened in this country. This is what Democrats are upset about. People upset, and then Jim came up earlier and talked about talked about Social Security and the 15-to-1 ratio and the 3-to-1 ratio that we have now.
Right.
And those are all true statements, no matter your majesty down there, you know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you something, your majesty, you may want to talk about a lot of stuff and a lot of BS. Mm-hmm. Not ever want to come face to face with Jim, I promise you. Okay? And take my sister's name out of your mouth if you don't mind. So the thing is we will fight to get these things back.
Right.
But people have to start waking up. And Bridget, believe it or not, you're in the minority in that case, because most normal Americans now are actually talking about what is happening.
Thank you.
Why their 401ks are going bad. It doesn't really matter what side of the aisle they're on. Takesha brought up an excellent point when she came up and she talked about how people just look at people as Democrats and Republicans instead of just people.
That part.
Okay? Real people are being hurt. Real people are losing money.
Yeah.
When real people lose money, I don't care where you are in the social economic system.
That part.
Everybody will eventually lose.
That part. And the grocery prices are going up.
Right. We have grocery prices going up. And yeah, I saw the job report.
Yeah.
I got, you know what I'm saying? I want to remind somebody of something. When unemployment is going up, okay, and went up again.
Yeah.
There is going to be more jobs created because people are moving from side to side to side to side. Okay?
Yeah.
They're trying to find a job. Now, what you're not understanding about that is most of those people probably left a, let's say $100,000 job, but then took a $50,000 job just to have money to pay bills.
Wow. So it's not all good then, what you're saying?
No, it's not all good. Jobs reports, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad we created jobs. I'm glad people moved from job to job, but it doesn't fix the problem that unemployment is still going up. So when unemployment keeps going up like that, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, if unemployment was going down and more jobs were being created, which is what we had during the Biden administration, what we had during Obama, even what we had through 2.5, 3 years of Bush and Clinton. Okay? The only 2 times that unemployment has gone up and job numbers continue to go up was under one president in the last 2 decades.
And who is that president? Slim Reaper, listen.
Yeah. That would be Donald Trump. Okay? People need to understand that job figures don't matter if unemployment is going up.
Exactly.
Those are just sideways jobs being created at that time.
There you go. Well, listen, Val, you nailed it. W's in the chat for Val. What we're going to do is maybe try to get maybe a couple of more convos in, and then we're going to wrap up this lovely show. But you know what? As always, Val, thank you, brother, for having the courage. Beverly, I hope you learned something from Val this morning. You're never going to see that money in your 401k again, Beverly. You're going to have to take drastic measures some way, shape, or form. All right?
Thank you all. It was an easy one for me today.
Easy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, another round of applause for Val. And they still said, we're going to flag the live. So, they're flagged alive. They said Zeus is still being too mean. I don't know why they did that, but you know what? We're going to keep telling the truth. Whether they like it or not, we're going to still keep telling the truth. W to all of you in the chat again. And all of you who've came up so far, without you, again, this show wouldn't be as incredible as it is. I mean, as much as it is about me, it's honestly about all of you. All right, let's go to the box. I want to know if there's one more MAGA or one more Trump supporter out there that's willing to come up here before we go to one more sane person, perhaps. If you're a Trump supporter, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, bravery. All right. Bravery. Come on up here. Bravery. Good morning, Bravery. How are you doing? Is this trash bait?
Zeus, what are you doing, man?
Lord have mercy.
Hey.
Lord,
let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about your Val guy. All he does is Google, bro. You remember? Hold on a second. You guys don't know nothing about the stock market. The stock market dropped 8% during COVID, and it bounced back in 4 months. 4 months. It's only down 2.3%.
Okay, so what major event happened to make it do what happened during the
COVID.
pandemic? No,
COVID.
that was during C-19.
That was during COVID, yes.
Okay, but what event is taking place now that requires such a reaction?
Well, it don't matter. It's not as bad right now as it was during COVID, dude.
Okay, well, you don't got to keep saying that word. Oh my God. Listen, you don't got to keep saying that word. You know that word is a bad word.
The reason you get flagged is because of misinformation, dude. That's why you get flagged.
Okay, so you just wanted to come up here and say that Val is not telling the truth.
And he got caught watching child porn 15 years ago.
Oh, okay, there you go. So what, ladies and gentlemen, what Trash Bait just did is actually disgusting and disturbing. That's what you call every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. You know what to do. Go ahead, mods. Block that knucklehead. See, that's disgusting and disturbing. Block him, and in the meantime, and in between time, Trash Bait. You know what? That's the next level of low. You get up here and you start saying things like that, but then you turn around and you vote for Donald J. Trump. Shame on you.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
It's so funny they say just anything to try to defend their dear leader. All right. All righty then. All right. Val, you sent another guest request. Val, is there anything you wanted to say? Because he just gets up here. You must have you made him mad somewhere. W Val. Because you've gotten under his skin somehow.
Yeah, I'm glad I got under his skin, but sir, I want to make sure something. There's people on this app that actually know who you are, and I want to make sure something when you go after somebody and you accuse them of something, sometimes you might pick the wrong person and you just did.
Oh.
Okay? When you accuse somebody of something that you just did, I want you to remember that this live is recorded.
Yeah. You got to be careful out here on the internet. That's why I don't always react and say things that pop up into, because, that is a reality. I don't know why people would say such just evil things. I don't know why. But Val, you got it.
Yeah, I need that recording because I will not, under any circumstances. I come up here, I talk to people. I mean, we have banter back and forth, but I would never accuse anybody of anything like that online anywhere.
I wouldn't either. I would be very mindful. Like, yeah, the bantering to me is acceptable, but there's lines out here you shouldn't cross. And I do upload every recording on my YouTube channel. All right, so it's going to be there. It's going to be there. It's going to be in the history books. And it's, as you know what I mean, it's considered evidence, and it's a beautiful word, right, Val? Evidence. It can do a lot of.
That's just, you cross a line. There's certain lines you should not cross anywhere on an app. I mean, we can have discussions, we can have banter, we can disagree.
Yeah.
But I'm not accusing anybody of anything. And sir, so you understand, you are talking to somebody that is very for real on this app. I am very well educated. I do and have done and worked my entire life. And what you just accused me of, sir, it is not going to sit well with me. And in the end, it will not sit well with you.
Oh, W, Val. To me, Val, and in all seriousness, I just can't understand how they could sit there and vote for a person that we know actually has done things harmful. We know he's done it, but then they go and vote for him anyway, and they say, "Oh, it was." What is their excuse? You can't trust the judge. It was rigged or whatever. You've lost all credibility, in my opinion, honestly, to try to speak on any moral issues when you openly support someone you know is just an immoral person and corrupt as he is.
Yeah, no, the immoral side of things, and everybody's going to have their different points of morality and how they get it and where it comes from, right? That's just life in general. But Jim put that perfectly when she came up here earlier. How you can sit and know everything this man has done and then turn around and defend him and be shocked by some of the things he's done, right? We have people come up here all the time. I'm shocked. I just don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
It's and that's how they put it, just nonchalantly.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with what he did right there. It cost me $200,000, but I don't necessarily agree. I don't know anybody in real life that would have that reaction. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've lost money in the stock market too because of 401k. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be everybody at this point. But to sit up here and go that, I really don't care, it'll rebound, because you don't understand. You don't understand how things work. You don't understand that you're losing money the entire time that's that way.
Right.
You had a moron just come up here and go, well, it lost 4% then, but it only lost 2.3. Well, those numbers are wrong too. They're not even close to correct. But I want you to remember something. During C19, the market was around 35,000. Okay, percentage is going to be much different at 45. Okay, I mean, just simple math escapes you. I mean, wake up, people.
Thank you.
If you want to forget, put people in power that are actually going to do work for you. Now, I'll be the first person to tell you that there's a lot of Democrats I don't agree with up on Capitol Hill right now.
Right.
Okay, and I'll call them out and have on this app. But we need to get to a place that where we're working for the American people.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about. And until we get there, we are going to continue to put the fire on Donald Trump and his supporters like you wouldn't believe. The truth isn't going anywhere. Are you going to stop telling the truth, Val?
No.
Hey.
If you don't like what I'm saying, go look it up. If I say something wrong, confront me with it. And if I'm wrong, you know what I'm going to tell you?
What?
I was wrong.
Thank you, because you're a humble person just like me, Triple H. Oh, my goodness. See what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen? And this is what being a true American is all about, all right? Being able to be open and honest and transparent, all right? And give people the honest truth in order to save this great, great country of ours. All right, Val, well, listen, we got to rock and roll, brother.
All right, buddy.
All right, thank you for coming up here and once again putting the foot where it belongs, all right? And the Trump supporters, you know what? Oh yeah. I see. Trash Bait has made it back. Trash Bait, I blocked that account. All right. You better. I want you to know you're on very, very thin ice with Big Zeus. All right. And I normally don't like to show the fangs. I really don't. But I will not tolerate any of that. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring up my next analyst. Who do we got? W's in the chat for Dr. Lex. What's going on, brother? How are you doing?
You know something. When he said that about Val, I went on a 5-minute curse. That busted can of body built biscuit head looking.
You know, he does look like every single thing you listed. Oh, you're up in there with the fresh and the latest threads, brother. W's in the chat for Dr. Lex. This is how you should come into the box, honestly, especially if you turn your camera on. You got to look presentable.
Okay, so that lady that was talking about it's a sale right now.
Oh yeah, Beverly.
What about the kids that can't eat or that aren't going to get free lunch? What about the veteran, like the guy that I was talking about up on the hill that's not getting his chemo cut off? What about those people?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about those people? Why is this all this of me? We can buy this. I can do that. I mean, some of us can. We all can. Yeah. But we're also getting lit up in our 401ks and our dividends aren't there. They're gone.
Yeah.
And Val, bro, listen. I know you got good lawyers. I want you to take everything that man has, his He-Man dolls, his Poppet collection, his discount fake Count Chocula cereal.
Oh.
All the things he eats on his diet. Because he always shows his arms, but he doesn't show the rest of that bloated existence he has. He doesn't show that miniature pig that he has hid under his shirt. He's human refuse is what he is. But people come on here and they say, okay, well, this is a stock sale, but I lost $250,000 in stocks, yeah. And she's fine with that. You're okay with that?
Beverly?
I'm not worried about people. I'm not. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You sound like you watch what? Now, see. Is that
they're trying to lure you? All right, they're trying to lure you.
It's Trashbait Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's his other account. Yeah, I destroyed that other account.
Trashbait. I've got three attorneys. I dare you. I will take everything you got, whatever it is. I will take all of it. I will take all of it.
Lord have mercy. See, it's getting away from the politics, and this is why MAGA they know they're in trouble. Instead of staying on topic, right, and talk about the issues, they want to turn it into identity politics. No. Okay, I'll tell you what's happening right now. I think he said he's a business owner, and I think he does construction. What I think is happening is his business is being impacted by these tariffs, and he's clearly angry, right? And he's looking for someone to take it out on. You should take it out on yourself because you voted for this.
Trashbait. He said I ain't got SHI. He just said that in the comments. I thought.
Yeah. Well, don't.
That's a Britling Endurance watch. Go look up how much that is. It's $3,400.
W Lex in the chat.
No, these people talk about.
It's so easy.
These people talk about everything they have. I sent you music. That's what I was wanting to talk to you about.
Okay, you sent me something to work on. All right. Well, I'm going to do what I got to do with it. All right, champ. Thank you.
You want to hear real quick?
Huh? Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear the tunes.
This is for your project. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Oh. Hey. I like it. But I can't hear it because of the audio quality. But I think if you sent it, I think I picked up on it. All right. W's in the chat for Dr. Lex.
It's in your email.
All right.
But listen, we have to. I'll say this before I go, because I know you got to get out of here.
You know I do.
Number one, we have to be good to each other.
Amen.
We have to be good to each other. That's the most important thing. What MAGA has lost is humanity.
Thank you.
They've been demoralized, and the only thing they're thinking about are themselves.
That part.
And people like Trashbait, every time he comes up here, I would block him because he has a hatred for people, including like Yuzu and Ange, who cooks him like the pork he is, and Val, who provides great knowledge, And I'm so angry over what he said about Val. I don't even know what to think.
Well, I'm not even entertaining it. I think that's what he wants us to do. I don't entertain the lies because they said a lot of nasty things about Big Zeus. And at the end of the day, I know they would never say it to Donald Trump. All right, because that's who they're really upset with at the end of the day. They would never go in Donald Trump's face and tell him he's a disgusting animal. So they want to try to project what they see in him onto Democrats, and it's not working. All right, and especially if they look in the mirror. They really should look in the mirror. Most of the time, every MAGA accusation is truly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession.
Hey, Zeus, can you say ass on here?
You just said it.
Okay, so Trash Bait, what you are is you are an inflated Coca-Cola and Pop Rock eating, pack of hot dogs neck having, ham sandwich paradise loving, bloated head ass dude.
Ooh. And that's keeping it clean because he could have got real nasty in other areas. But W Dr. Lex for that. That was a TKO. That was a triple dipple TKO.
You permanent ticket holder to Golden Corral having it. I'll stop.
Shout out to the Golden Corral. I don't even know if they would let him in. But all right, brother, I appreciate you.
Blowing a trumpet.
Yeah. There you go. W Dr. Lex.
You just got me angry.
Don't let them get to you. Don't let them get to you. Listen, W's in the chat for Dr. Lex. These folks, ladies and gentlemen, they are trying to lure you in, and you can't take the bait. Take it from me. They're going after Big Zeus because we get so much real organic truth out here. Hey, W's in the chat for Kabira. How are you doing, my sister?
What's going on, Mr. Zeus? How you doing?
I'm all right. How about you?
Oh, brother, you know what? The world is upside down, Zeus. It's upside down.
Really?
I wanted to, speak on just two things real quick. The lady who said, the lady you just spoke with.
Beverly?
Beverly, was that her name? The one who lost money, but she has her financial advisor. Look, the guy who was on yesterday, what did he say? Now is the time to buy. I just spent $20,000 and bought me some stocks, right?
Yeah, he did.
And the market was at 40,000. Well, today it's at 39,000. So he lost whatever he bought. He lost.
He bought it too early.
Yeah, he bought too early. Now Miss Beverly or whatever her name is, she goes, "Now is the time to buy." Well, if you want to be a fool and buy, go ahead and buy now because I guarantee you tomorrow, next week, it's going to be even lower. So that's going after some fool's gold.
That's a good point.
It's true. You're just a dog chasing your tail and never bite the tip.
Go ahead, W Kabira for that. That's a lingo. That's a new lingo alert. New lingo alert.
And the last thing, Mr. Trash Bait, what he said about Val was uncalled for. It was uncivilized.
Yeah.
It was uncalled for. And, yesterday, you won a lot.
Are you there? I lost you. All right, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. Okay. So yesterday you and Ange were on a live, and I was going through these TikTok streets, and I said, "Oh, let me park it here and see what they talking about."
You were there.
So I hit up Dr. Lex, shared the live with him. Said, "Hey, Zeus here, come roll on up." So they started bashing. Yeah. They started bashing you, and it was like, wait a minute, name calling. And I say to myself, this is typical MAGA. This is fourth grade stuff. If you can't win an argument on its merit, what do? You start cussing and bashing.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so then Angie got up and she said what she said, but she was correct.
Yeah.
And so with that, I said, you know what? I can't do this. So I left that live. It's not so much of who's right and who's wrong. When you get to the point where you have to start bashing people and name calling and talking about their mama and, just unnecessary stuff, then you've lost the argument with me and I have to keep walking. So MAGA, if you want to make a point, the thing I would say to you is enlighten yourself and read. Read. It's so important. Beverly, she says, "Oh, you just get your news from one source. But today I was watching the news, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Economist, which is a conservative paper. We know the Wall Street Journal is a conservative paper.
Yeah.
And there were a few more conservative outlets. They said what Trump is doing is self-inflicted and it's going to affect the world economy.
Yep.
We are in for a problem. And for you to sit back and to deny, to you know, it's a poor rat that has one hole to run to. So, you know, even a rat has several holes where he's coming in and out of your house. So
I like that. New lingo alert, all right?
So, Zeus, with that, I'm going to drop, you know, people, we got to be a little more, we can be disagreeable without being nasty.
Thank you. And I agree. W's in the chat for my sister Kabira. No lies detected.
All right, Zeus, you have a good one. You be safe out here in these TikTok streets.
I will.
Don't get caught up with them MAGA fools. Oh, no, you know, I told my brother, I'm going to take away the name MAGA because they really don't deserve, at least MAGA, you know, I mean, we know it. Hillary was right. They're a basket of deplorables. So I'm sticking with it.
Amen.
Hopefully you'll be here Monday. I hope you give a special broadcast tomorrow in case they...
Oh, you're right. I might have to do a special broadcast. It might be the last day on this app. You're right. W's in the chat for Kabira. I forgot. Oh my gosh. Overtime. Seriously. All right. Thank you so much, my sister. All right. We'll bring up our next guest. All right. I'm trying to make it as many as I can before Big Zeus has to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. What a incredible show. All of you in the audience, I want to especially say thank you. Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, whatever you believe, that's your prerogative. But the whole being nasty business, listen, I personally, I really can't be nasty. I feel like a terrible person. When I am a nasty person, I think it reflects poorly on me. And even if I disagree with you, I still think, like, you know what? We all belong to various parts of the community in one way or another. Don't get on this app and embarrass your family, your friends, your community, your place of businesses and things like that, all because you disagree with someone's political opinion. This show, I saw someone in there say they think that this show is all about spewing hatred. Actually, it's not. It's entertaining, right? It's definitely entertaining. It's actually engaging, honestly. Why do you think people show up here every day? It's not because they think, well, Zeus is a no, people tune in because we have to say these things and get the truth out here this way in order for some people to actually wake up and recognize they're going in the wrong direction. If you want someone to rock you to sleep, you know, rocking my baby, whatever you want to do that, then go somewhere else. All right. But over here, we do it a different way. This is what makes us, Democrats relatable. This is what makes us cool, relevant, and this is what makes you uncool and relevant. I mean, you could go look at these people and look at their lives, and if you're a nasty person, your life is going to reflect that. W's in the chat for Rick. If you're a nasty person on TikTok, your life is going to reflect that, right? People are not going to want to come into a space where they hear you demonizing. You could be a Trump supporter, you could be a Democrat, but if you're actually just being a nasty and terrible person, that rubs people the wrong way. I use this app, ladies and gentlemen, as a bit of an escape, all right? Because we all see what's going on in this country. We all see it. And I don't think it's very, I look at these people, even if they're Trump supporters, and I go, that's somebody's partner, that's someone's uncle, that's someone's brother. I'm not going to do that to them because that's a reflection of me. And that's why I don't do it. So yeah, they can call me whatever they want to call me, everything under the sun but a child of God. They can do all of that. And I've learned over the years that it's not what people call you, it's what you respond to. And that's something my mom taught me. W's in the chat. It's not what people call you, it's what you respond to. All right. And so what I don't do is I don't feed into the negative. All right. And to the Trump supporters, seriously, y'all got some real anger issues. Y'all got to work on that because Donald Trump is manipulating you and he is tapping into your anger issues, your abusive behavior. He's tapping into all of that and getting y'all to compromise yourselves. All right. If you really listen to this show, it's actually a lot of love because a lot of us are seasoned. We're experts. We know what we're talking about. We all got our different experiences and we can give you the insight. And we're saying this to you because we're actually concerned. We're really concerned that y'all will sit up here and voluntarily surrender your Social Security benefits. Why would you do that? And then who do you think you're going to need to help you when times get hard? I hate Democrats. Well, here's the thing, and I had to actually think about it too. You're going to go out here in the real world and interact with various people. How do you know everybody you're interacting with isn't a Democrat? You're going to go to the doctor, Dr. Keisha Davis, she comes up here. You don't know if those doctors that are saving your lives are Democrats. You don't know if the people making your food at these restaurants are Democrats or not. You don't know if you're getting your so how do you really get into your mind that you could be a nasty person on the internet and then go out here in the real world and not face any kind of repercussions for being such a I saw this person on TikTok saying a bunch of nasty things. You go into a restaurant, you don't think they know you. Well, what do you think they're going to do and treat you like? They're not going to be too impressed. W Zeus in the chat. So that's why I call myself Triple H. And I'll say this, all right? This is why I have to do it, because early on in this app, all right, I had a good friend, and this person is not a Democrat. I'll say this, and they say, Zeus, every time you lose your cool on this app, you are resetting progress, not just for you, but for everybody. You got to practice controlling your aim. And I said, but wait, and they said, Zeus, either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, I'm not associating with you. And I had to do the work on my own. All right. And I said to myself, and especially because you know your mom and your dad is listening, your brothers and sisters and people. And I said, okay, fine. Somebody has to actually show people how to conduct themselves and have these difficult but engaging conversations. And that's what I do. Yeah, I might take little subtle jabs at you for the most part, but at the end of the day, I'm like, live your life, all right? You'll see what we're talking about in short order, all right? Now let me bring up my my next couple of guests, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I know that you all have been. This is a little bit of an overtime, but I'm going to try to do another 10 minutes. So I want to try to get as many of you up here before I can, and I got to get up out of here. Good morning, Nutty. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, good morning. So much to say, so little time to say it, so I'll just start here. You know, armies last for a while, but tribes last forever. Val, you have a tribe standing next to you, sir.
Yeah.
You have a tribe. The tribe is people who care about the truth. The tribe are people who care about other people, humanity as a whole. So be not weary in well-doing, for in due season we all shall reap if we faint not.
Amen.
So that's to my brother Val. And I notice I said my brother, and Val, he has the complexion for the protection. Right. I don't, but Val is my brother.
Yeah.
Val gets on this app every single bleeping day.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives factual information that you can deduce in your own mind by simply going and researching yourself to see if the information that's being given is the truth. So let me get off that by now. So yesterday, Tiny Tank Top Tim, he said something that was profound.
Oh.
Now I know. I'm talking about Tiny Tank Top Tim, but I'm gonna give him props. He said something profound.
Oh.
I don't remember the exact words, but I'm gonna surmise it, and maybe you can help me, Zeus.
Okay.
When he was talking to you, he said, "Why is it that we
Democrats
when he's talking about the Democrats,
mm-hmm.
we have to basically demonize a person for who they voted for. What was that statement that he was making?
Something along those lines. Yeah,
he said,
I don't remember the words, to be honest.
He was talking about the name calling,
mm-hmm.
about criticizing because I know what it was. He said, not liking a person just by the way they voted, something, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And that he wasn't gonna judge a person by the way that they voted, something like that.
Really?
Tiny Tank Top Tim, you're a liar. Because every single time we've talked to you on this app, we ask you, why did you vote for Donald Trump? And what is your answer every single time? Because he's wasn't a Democrat. So even the words that you were spewing out of your own mouth was a lie. You didn't even believe the own words that you were saying. Because you keep saying, I am not a Trump supporter. I only voted for him because he wasn't a, can the class say it?
Democrat. We know the story.
So I need you to sit down in your little hole in the wall, and I need you to reflect on the things that you're saying on this app, and start believing in those things that you're trying to preach to us.
That's a good start.
Start believing in those things. Start practicing those things, because you can't teach me a daggum thing that you're not practicing.
It's the hypocrisy.
I'm gonna leave it at that, because there's so much I want to say. But if this app does go away, which I think I'm gonna see you on Monday, but if it does, let me say this. These are my parting words to everybody. Live in your truth, but let your truth be factual. Let your truth be real. And more importantly, let your truth never lose its humanity.
Amen.
Its humanity.
That part. Thank you, Nutty.
My favorite statement is, at the end of the day, we are all human beings. And one more question, Zeus. When did the United States population get to a swelling 565 million people?
I didn't know that happened.
Well, the guest that you had in here today said that 200 million illegals came in. Now, the last census I saw, there was 365 million people in the United States. So with that being said, with 200 million, simple math, that's 565 million people in the United States.
Thank you. That's not true.
For Beverly, my statesman, because I'm in the state of Missouri. Go learn somewhere, because Missouri ranks 48th in education. 48th.
Wow.
Missouri ranks like 40th in life expectancy. Missouri ranks at the bottom of every major statistical category that goes to keeping people healthy and feeding people.
Wow.
We rank at the bottom. And you know what? We've been talking about 401ks a lot. I don't talk about it because every time I see mine, literally, Zeus, I want to cry.
Thank you.
I want to cry because no, I have never lost 250,000 because I don't have it like that.
Right.
But I have lost 80. And to me, that's yeah, I stutter when I say that word.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like, what am I working for? What am I investing in? What am I doing?
Yep.
To lose this type of money. And all because of why? A billionaire wants more money. That's what it's coming down to, y'all. He wants more money.
Sick.
I'm out of here because I know you got to go. And
all right.
I'll just keep talking. Have a
all
great
right,
day.
all right. W Nutty in the chat. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. All right, we're going to bring up my good friend Santana. Congratulations, brother. I saw you had a nice battle yesterday and you survived, all right? And you did pretty good all right, W Santana. I mean, you know it's very difficult.
The books were cooked, but we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
The books were cooked.
Yeah. Listen,
I love it.
I'll make it super quick because I think it's something that really needs to, we need to talk about because we've been talking about the fact that I know earlier it was a conversation as far as Val clarifying like jobs, right?
Yeah.
And how the projections were better than expected. But that's followed up with Jerome Powell coming out saying the tariffs are worse than expected and inflation is going to rise.
Ooh.
And also
W-Ange. There you go.
Not only is inflation going to rise, but also growth is slowing, right? So it's a lot happening. And at the same time, you see Canada looking for outside partnerships, so they're no longer reliant on the United States.
Wow.
And then you see Mexico doing the exact same thing, right? So when you have our neighbors to the north and the south actually looking to eliminate the connections with us and actually expedite different trade routes, and then you have the EU actually starting to engage with China so they can actually eliminate the trade within the United States, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad. And for some reason, Trump supporters and MAGA seem to think that, oh, temporary pain is going to lead to massive gain. It's not. It's not. Zeus, there's been 3 times in the United States history where massive tariffs have been leveraged.
Wow.
The first time was in 1828 by the Republican Party. And after that, they lost 50% of their seats.
Wow.
Right? The second time was in the 1930s. And after that, they didn't have any type of control of power for 60 years.
That's
Donald Trump is doing this again now.
Wow.
Right? And Zeus, they have to wait 100 years before they do this again because it's insane. And people remember, like, if there's people still alive that remember it, they're going to like, hey, this is a bad idea. And that's why, like, Donald Trump, that's why MAGA, they want to get rid of the Department of Education. They want to get rid of books. They don't want you to know history because history repeats itself. If you don't know it, it repeats itself. And they want certain things. And they know if people know what's actually happening, they're not going to be able to get those things.
That part. W Santana in the chat. So you don't see this ending well for the United States. You know, there's people out here saying that these countries are calling in and begging Donald Trump right now to make a deal. Please lift those tariffs. What do you say to those people, Santana, real quickly, if you don't mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, the big thing that people want to keep in mind is that, yes, the United States has been the bully, right? More so the friendly bully, right? Knowing that we can protect people and we can still get what we want by, being friendly. But now we've pushed other countries into a position where they're like, we don't necessarily like to deal with the U.S., but we will deal with them. Now they're like, you know what? We don't like to deal with the U.S. and we won't deal with the U.S. And so you're going to see those countries turning away from the U.S.
Wow.
Where before there was like, you know what? It goes back to this. Risk. I'm sorry. The actual amount of how much you're worth versus how much issue you cause.
Yeah.
I always think about Antonio Brown. Right, with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
When he was producing, they put up with all of his BS.
Yeah.
But as soon as he was no longer producing at the same level, they got him up out of here.
Got him out. You got to go.
And
seriously.
That's what's happening now.
Wow. What a good analogy. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you. You know, we got to wrap it up. But ladies and gentlemen, this is my brother Santana. Make sure you check him out, all right? We got to keep this moving, all right?
Yeah,
Telling the truth.
I'll say this. I don't know how many more people, if you're going to pull anybody else up or whatever, but I don't know if Erica's still in the box, but I know she wanted to speak to you for a second if she was.
Okay.
So.
Okay,
right.
Fair enough.
Appreciate
All
you,
right.
my brother.
W Santana. He's a good brother right here. He's a very good brother. All righty then. All right, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Erica, where are you at? All right. Good morning, Erica. How are you doing, the beautiful Erica? How are you doing? Oh, W, Tara. W.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Nice, and thank you for turning on the camera. You're looking so gorgeous over there. It's like you got double trouble up here with you and I. All right, I love it. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you too. And shout out to my bro Santana. I requested earlier when Bev was up here.
Oh.
And she was speaking about how we're going to bounce back. And I think one thing that we do a lot is we do focus on like the politics of it all.
Yeah.
But sometimes we fail to look at the human impact. Like they're touting this number of 228 jobs created, more than what was expected, but they're not looking at the fact that 75,000 jobs were lost. So we have a net loss of 47,000 jobs. Wow. Yeah. So there's that part. All right. And then also with the stock market doing what it's currently doing, plummeting as it is, basically crashing, what's happening is that the rich are just going to get richer because the rich can afford to buy low and sell high.
Amen.
Right?
Tell them.
People living paycheck to paycheck. They can't do that. They can't do that. And what we had like during when they say, oh, well, it fell during C-19 by $9 trillion and he bounced back. Yeah, but think about people had to take out those bad credit loans, right? People were, what were they doing? They were refinancing as they could, refinancing their homes, refinancing their cars to take on more debt. Consumer debt is at its highest that it's ever been.
Wow.
And it's only going to get higher.
Wow.
Right? So we have to think about the human impact. So while the stock market may recover, I don't know in how long, because that's not my field of expertise.
That's not mine either, but it's not going to be tomorrow, put it that way. It ain't tomorrow.
Exactly. And so like we really do have to look at the human impact of this and like how much people are going to have to take on just to make it to, you know, to the next week, to the next paycheck, to fill in those gaps.
Thank you. And what about the grocery prices in terms of the human impact? If you could please educate the people out there, what is that going to be?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
With these tariffs and what we actually import from other countries when it comes to food, we're going to see that. We're going to see it. Like I was talking about it last night on the live. I'm tired of Cocoa Pebbles costing so much money.
Right.
Like, my little box of Cocoa Pebbles costs $5 now. Like I don't want it to cost $7.
Wow.
So,
$7. Oh my goodness. I mean, you're saying that's exactly the opposite of what he promised, right? Because he said he was going to bring these prices down.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying when you add it all up, the stock market crashing, grocery prices going up, inflation pretty much, this is on a human level a bad thing.
Is absolutely a bad thing, Zeus. Absolutely. And what we are going to see is just even higher prices. And the one thing that I sound like a broken record. I'm serious.
No, but you got to get it out there.
Yeah. Donald Trump has control of the House and the Senate, so Congress, and he has the Supreme Court on his side. He has the federal courts because he stacked them in his first term. Like he has all these things that are working in his favor, and he has yet to do anything that would actually have a substantial positive impact on the American consumer's wallet.
That part.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That part.
Yeah, he just lies. He double speaks. He lies, and they eat it up. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I keep asking, wait and see. What are we waiting to see?
Yeah. What are we waiting to see, MAGA? Seriously.
Exactly. What are we waiting to see? I don't want to wait and see. I really don't, because I can look to the past to know the future.
Amen.
We've been here before.
Amen. Hit them with it, Erica.
There's that. But Zeus, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I appreciate you so much for letting me up.
No problem. Anytime. And I'm so sorry that it took so long, and it's a pleasure to meet you. I got to give you a follow back as well. All right. This is my backup account. All right. But maybe I need to make sure I'm following you on my main account too. All right. Oh, we're following each other on the main. All right. Well, listen. W, Erica.
Thank you, Zeus. I'm going to say TikTok better not go away, because I want to say I'm mutual for Zeus, y'all.
Yes. Thank you so much. All right.
Awesome.
Keep
Have
up
a great day, love.
You too, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat for Erica. Thank you, Santana, for bridging that. I totally appreciate it. All righty then. Let's move it along. Oh my goodness. All right, I got to bring up my good friend DJ Kitty. Welcome. Oh my gosh, you guys got me working OT today. Seriously, y'all are some wild people out here. Good morning, DJ Kitty. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, look at that. We're getting the cam.
Working hard, and I would expect that the Trumpers would actually change their tune by now. You know, it's been 90 days, and nothing that he said he was going to do prior to being elected came true. You know, the grocery prices are, gas prices are, and the tariffs, you know, the tariffs is what's really going to slam America. Because all the other countries are only trading within themselves. Who do you think's going to suffer? Who do you think's going to, you know, think about it. If your company is producing a widget, okay?
Yeah.
And there's no demand for that widget any longer because the other countries aren't trading with us any longer. And then they have to do layoffs. Who do you think that's going to affect? MAGA. I need you to think beyond
the penguins.
Penguins, exactly.
Xena, knock it off.
It blows my mind at the level that these people are still stuck on silliness. I'm being nice to this because it's your live and I'll respect you. But I need MAGA to wake up. If your widget is no longer needed, then they don't need you no matter how much you love your job and they love you, bottom line is they're going to have to let you go. They can't afford to pay you any longer.
Thank you.
You're stuck on, oh, Donald Trump told you. If you think that Donald Trump and his girlfriend Melania give a doggone about you, then you are sadly mistaken. And if they found so much corruption, why hasn't anybody been arrested?
That part.
Where's the arrest? I'm just waiting for one arrest. Just one. But we don't see that. But I want to say congratulations to Wisconsin.
Hey, man. Go for it. They did it. They did that thing out there.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Louisiana.
Amen.
Absolutely not. Now, Florida, I don't know what to say about Florida.
But they closed the margin at least.
They did close the margin. So there are people who are waking up.
Yeah.
To all wake up. And some people are so stuck on that hate that they can't see past that hate. The hatred of everyone else but themselves.
That part.
Who look like them. I don't know. I just wanted to stop by and say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Zeus. Thank you guys for the gifts and all that. But I don't know if TikTok is going away tomorrow.
Yeah, they say it could be going away tomorrow, but you never know. All right, we never know. But you know what? We did what we had to do. We fought the good fight, right?
Yeah. Are you on Substack?
No, I haven't joined Substack. I'm just on YouTube, and that's about it. I haven't really even looked into doing it outside of TikTok. But if it comes down to it, and then there's a need for it, I might do the YouTube thing. To be honest with you,
we need you, Zeus. That's not a if there's a need. We need. How many people out here come and every morning tune into Zeus?
Hey,
it's a no-brainer. We need you.
The link is in the bio if you want to find it on the YouTube. All right, I put it in there. You can go look. Yeah, I upload copies of this video, but then I'd have to, do some things and set some things up over here. I probably just need to learn how to do it, but eventually, to your point, DJ Kitty, if necessary, I'll do that. All right, because someone has to get the truth out here. Right? W's in the chat for Zeus. Thank you. I love you all.
We can't rely on TikTok because he might buy it, and if he buys it or somebody like him buys it, they're going to suppress your voice anyway. So
yeah.
Substack, Zeus, YouTube, like get on out there, Zeus. I'm saying this because we can't lose our connection. You're very valuable to all of us.
Thank you. That means so much. Seriously, I didn't know that, but it's always humbling. Seriously, when you find out stuff like this. So thank you. You're valuable as well. All of you are. Seriously. All right.
I'm done.
All right.
We got other people. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If not, we can catch Zeus on YouTube Monday.
There you go. Well, maybe not, but it'll be there whenever it gets there. I haven't went that far.
Goodness, you can't do it like this now.
She said by Monday. I said,
You got 1.3 thousand people before it was like 2.1.
Yeah, then they got flagged. They got flagged, so that means that we went too hard. They're sensitive on this app. I don't know why, but we'll get it right.
Zeus, if you need a vacation, just let us know, but we still need to see you every morning.
Fair enough.
I can't have a coffee without you, Zeus. Come on now.
Look at I'm blushing right now, DJ Kitty. You got me blushing.
You guys, am I telling the truth? We need to see you, Zeus. Don't do us like this now. Come on.
All right, then I'll try to see what I can do. All right, that's the best I can say. I'll see what I can do. All right, I don't want to promise things and then can't do it, so I'll see what I can do. All right, Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, maybe call Blake. Blake will get on you.
Don't do that, please.
Yes.
Please don't do that.
You guys have a great weekend.
All right, you too. All right, you too, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause for our good friend DJ Kitty. No Lies Detected. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. I'm well past my scheduled time slot. We were cooking and booking, and I enjoyed it. But we don't know what's going to happen to this app. So we'll just see. But I want to give you all a huge round of applause. Thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Without you, this show wouldn't be as exciting, engaging, and entertaining as it is, all right? But we also got to give one last round of booze and shame. And this goes out to the Zeus haters. Hey, y'all got to honestly start working on yourselves, all right? The hatred you got in your heart, it isn't because of Joe Biden and the Democrats. It really is a result of the failure on your end to actually take full accountability of the things that you're not satisfied with in your life. I know successful people who've voted for Donald Trump and who've been Democrats. So it has nothing to do with the politics. It has everything to do with you. You don't hate me. You hate yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and give him one last round of booze and shame.
Silence, you MAGA Daily.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We're out of here. Lord have mercy. Have a great rest of your morning. Happy Friday. I love you all too. Sorry I didn't get to bring all of you up here, but I am so behind right now. Seriously. What a great show. I love you too, Tara. Seriously. You've always been, you've been supporting Big Zeus for a while. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. You can find you can click on the link in the bio to find my YouTube videos. All right, W's in the chat for Jimmy. Want me to connect the dots? Cena. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. You know what we came to do. Connect now. W's in the chat for Q-Dog. Let's go. You want some drill, baby? Drill. Let's get some drill, baby. Drill, baby. Thank you. And then we are out of here. So much money, we're gonna pay down our debts. All right.
We're gonna lower your tax system. Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, there's a frack.
Come on. Hey. You know she's gonna bang it.
I put all she was against, stacking against all the stuff and then all the stuff and then all the stuff.
Let's go.
When she was getting killed in the past,
she said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical. She can't help it. And we're gonna end that. And we will. And drill, baby, drill. Hey. W's in the chat for Dev. Hey. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes. Heaven. Let's go. The late great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, baby, drill like an Hannibal Lecter. Hey. You all are so amazing. All right. Here it goes.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, they do?
They say,
W.
why
Lisa.
would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
Why would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
We're going to lower your taxes.
Oh, that part?
Deep insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill. It's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. Lower your taxes.
Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy.
When I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill.
Let's go. How low can you go? How low can you go? Hey. Drill, baby. baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes, deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say, here it goes. How much do you owe in your house? Oh, don't worry. We'll take good care of that. All right, we're going to pay off all your debt. How much do you owe in taxes? Ooh, we'll lower those taxes like they've never been lowered before, because guess what? We're going to drill, baby, drill. And then when we're all done, we're going to frack like you wouldn't believe. Because guess what? We got so much liquid gold underneath our feet. All we got to do is get there, baby. You know what I mean. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe out there in those TikTok.